Amber Alert from yesterday. All right, let me get this going. We're telling followers that you started a live video. Thank you, Instagram. All right, let me go ahead and get this. Would you like? Would you like? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let me get this going here. We're gonna be talking about Iran. What the hell are we? What exactly are we doing in that nation? We're gonna be talking about that. So, um, give me a minute to get my other stream going, and we should be getting things going momentarily. And good evening. I think that says Jalik. You are a very sick man, says Straight Talk. Straight Talk, sick in what way? As I am a very sick man. You sound like my ex-wife. Give me a second here to get my other stream going, and we'll be up momentarily on all platforms. So it's going to take about 60 seconds or so to get this last platform going, and then we can get the show going. And Straight Talking to me, why am I a sick man? In every single way, huh? I'm a sick man. And good evening, Thomas Williams from Florida. I'll be in the Sunshine State in a little bit over a week. A little bit over a week. I'll be down there in the Sunshine State. Hopefully, it's nice and sunny and the weather cooperates. Let me see here. Going all the way down to the tip of that state. Let's see here. I said, I'm a very sick man. What the hell did I do, Straight Talk? Thank you, Trizon. I think it says new subscriber. Appreciate that. Thank you for your support, tuning in the program. Thank you very much. Excuse me. I think we should be pretty much ready to go here, or ret to go, as they say. We have rescued, and TikTok should be up momentarily here as well. So while all that's coming up, what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you are asking. But good to have you folks here this evening. Looks like some heroic shit has taken place on behest of the American military, ordered by our commander-in-chief, President Trump. Fact is, the second F-15 navigator or pilot, whatever you want to call him, has been rescued. So, and that was ordered by President Trump, giving the military all the necessary resources, approving whatever it took to get that pilot back. That was authorized by Trump, authorized by Hegseth, and successfully implemented on the early morning hours of Easter. Now, we were live. We were actually live when the news broke that that rescue had been completed. And there were a host of folks tuned in. We were doing a later evening live, a later live that Saturday night. So it was actually before Easter. But Saturday night we were on live, and the news broke that the second pilot had been rescued. And look, I don't want to say I told you so, but I was giving Trump credit for doing something patriotic. That being, everyone was saying Trump was in Walter Reed Hospital and that he was sick. And at the time, I gave him more credit than he probably deserved, because I was saying, listen, there have been times when during wars and conflicts, presidents have quietly snuck out of the country to go be with the troops to improve morale. And I did say it's possible Trump may have left the country to give our troops some morale and sneak into one of the neighboring countries of Iran. A lot of presidents have done that. I think even Bush, showed up in Iraq and handed out turkeys one Thanksgiving. And they do it quietly. They don't announce they're going to do it because the enemy could be paying attention. Joe Biden actually went to the Ukraine and took a train while the country had no air cover by the United States. So I think what Joe Biden did was probably the most bravest of them all. Because usually when America's in a conflict, we have control of the airspace. We do not have control of the airspace over the Ukraine, yet Biden went there anyway. So that was pretty pretty brazen for Biden to do that. But anyway, I was saying Trump maybe doing something patriotic, and everybody was suggesting that he's sick. He's canceled all his appointments. He's probably in Walter Reed Hospital. Some folks even wishing him the worst. Hopefully, you were not one of those wishing our president the worst. Well, it turns out he was I believe he was kind of like in the situation room or something of that nature, watching the rescue take place. The pilot had been located quite a while earlier, and under the cover of darkness, the rescue was implemented and successfully achieved. And it took a while to do it. I do want to go over a few things before we start taking callers and going into the comments because of the way this went down. Now, the second pilot broke his ankle while, this is what I'm hearing, this is what I went through all of my research and came up with from multiple channels, multiple sources. Climbed up a mountainside 7,000 foot up. Because yes, when the planes go down, if you're ever involved in that, you want to get as far away from the wreckage as possible. You know that's where the enemy is coming, is to the site of the wreckage. I always keep bringing up the movie Behind Enemy Lines because that's exactly what happened. One of the pilots in that particular ejection, fictional scene in a movie, but he was injured and stuck at the wreckage site. And the enemy came to the wreckage site and killed him on the spot. But this guy climbed a mountain 7,000 foot high with a broken ankle and other injuries. And he had to use his own first aid kit apparently to stitch himself up. So it's some real historic shit. You might see a Brockheimer or a Michael Mann film. I mean, this is some real this is movie shit. This is movie shit. Now, over 70 aircraft were involved in this rescue. And I do want to talk about that because this was not cheap. It was successful, but it was costly financially. We lost a lot of equipment in this. Multiple A-10s were circling around providing air cover. You had F-18s providing jamming so that the enemy couldn't communicate, et cetera, et cetera. But over 70 aircraft were involved in this. Now, you've probably heard they sent what is referred to as an MC-130J. C-130s, big aircraft that can carry troops and equipment to the scene. Now, some of the equipment being these are attack aircraft called Little Birds. If you've seen the movie Black Hawk Down, you've seen these aircraft featured in the movie. I want to make sure I bring up a clip of it, or actually a graphic of it, so you'll know what I'm talking about, because this is kind of important to the actual story. But these are what's called Little Birds. I got one in my hand. I fly remote control aircraft, but they're called Little Birds. If you've seen the movie Black Hawk Down, it featured some of these aircraft. They're highly maneuverable. You know, I don't deal with military aircraft, but I fly a lot of them RC-wise, and these are really fun to fly. Very maneuverable, very maneuverable. But they're called, the nickname for them are called Little Birds. Now, these aircraft were in the C-130s that were sent. The MCJ C-130 Commandos. These are a little bit smaller, but they put these inside of there. And here's the issue. They landed two of these in regards to the rescue, and they got stuck in mud or whatever the case may be. They got stuck in some mud. They were able to get the Little Birds out and the other equipment out to perform the rescue. They created literally their own air base in Iran. They literally made a small air base for refueling. These Little Birds only have about 200-mile range, so they can only stay in the air for so long. But anyway, the planes got stuck in the mud. They had to destroy these two aircraft there. So we lost two of these. The Little Birds you saw me just holding, they had four of those involved in this mission. And because they lost two of these aircraft that were stuck in the mud, they flew smaller aircraft in so that they would be lighter and not likely get stuck in the mud. But unfortunately, the smaller aircraft did not have the room necessary to put four Little Birds back in it. So they left two of these over there as well. So two Little Birds were lost. Two MC-130s you see pictured here. Two of these were blown up. And in addition to that, which you're not hearing a lot of from the administration, but two Reaper drones shown here on the screen. Two of these got shot down. Two of these got shot down. Two little birds were blown up by the U.S. military so they wouldn't fall in the hands of the enemy. And then, of course, those very large C-130Js that were blown up. All of that. And not only that, but they put the little birds next to the C-130s, and they used a B-1. It wasn't like a satchel charge, according to the story. It wasn't a satchel charge used to blow these planes up. They had a B-1 fly overhead and blow them up. So understand, this was a very expensive endeavor. Just the guided ordnance to blow this shit up costs tens of thousands of dollars. But these are multi-million dollar aircraft. These are multi-million dollar aircraft. So this was a very, very expensive endeavor to implement. 17 Iranians trying to storm the scene were killed in action. So there are 17 Iranian KIAs, but obviously nobody cares about that. We wanted to save our guy. But Iran did lose 17 people trying to get to this guy. So this was a really heavily involved mission. Probably one of the largest rescue missions we've had in recent history. So I don't know. And I see in the comments, Mucha something says, "Are we great again yet?" Well, this is some historic shit. Unfortunately, it's involved in a war that many folks believe is not necessary, should not happen. But we don't want to leave a man behind. But do you think the cost of this is worth it? Let me ask you folks that. Now, I just gave you a list of six aircraft? Yeah, two Reaper, two Little Birds, and two C-130s they got shot down or got destroyed. So that's 6 aircraft there. In the beginning of the war, I think we lost 3 F-15s. And then the day these 2 pilots were shot down, they had an F-15 that was shot down. An F-15 was shot down. An A-10, I don't even want to reach for the A-10, but an A-10 Warthog was shot down. And I believe one of the Black Hawks trying to rescue them was also taking fire. So we've lost a lot of aircraft. For a country that has no ability or no air defenses because they've been obliterated, we sure are losing a lot of aircraft over there. This absolutely is not Venezuela. This is not Venezuela, which might also lead to why President Trump, and I'll start taking callers shortly, tap the screen, get us up to 10,000, might be one reason why President Trump not long ago made this statement.
For Europe, and I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning when I spoke to UK of all. I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham.
So thank you, Blue One Banks, for that Galaxy. Appreciate that. So do you agree with Trump that this is a mark that NATO will never live down? In other words, this is a bad stain on NATO. Keep in mind, I just gave you a host of aircraft. We've lost almost a dozen probably maybe more than that. About a dozen aircraft. If NATO was helping us from the beginning, there's a good chance some of those could have been their aircraft, or their pilots could have been stuck behind, or something of that nature. This could have been them. Despite America's superior military might compared to Iran, people are getting shot down. Casualties are happening. Bases are being blown up. Iran is inflicting damages. Albeit small, they are inflicting damages. And we have not even gotten to the point where boots are on the ground yet. Our air power is significantly greater than Iran's, but on the ground, once boots are on the ground, that huge advantage shrinks significantly. Shrinks significantly. The guys on the ground do not have anywhere near the advantages of the guys in the air. Yeah, they can call in airstrikes and things like that, but on the ground, significantly more vulnerable than you are in the air. And some of the folks in the air, as you can see, have been taken out. So NATO may view this a little bit differently. So before I start up, I do want to give you one more, and then I'll go straight to the comments, because this is one I don't even know what to say, but President Trump, Easter Sunday, wow.
Donald Trump is now giving Iran until tomorrow to make a deal or reopen the Strait of Hormuz, warning that all hell could break loose if it doesn't. And in case that message was not clear enough, he took to Truth Social today to post this message saying that Tuesday will be, quote, Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one in Iran. That is an open threat to strike Iran's critical infrastructure. But it doesn't end there. He went on to say, and I quote, open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Praise be to Allah.
She didn't do this justice. Let me read this. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Now, President Trump just came out as a practicing Catholic recently. So why he's saying praise be to Allah sounds like it's just kind of a dig at their God. We know where that can go. President Trump does not believe in Allah. Absolutely does not believe in Allah. So for him to be talking like that and mentioning Allah is obviously a religious dig. And I want to say at the deity for Iran, but the whole fucking Middle East, with the exception of maybe Israel, give praises to Allah. I don't know if that something like that alone could cause other nations to view him unfavorably. But I will tell you this. If he actually does implement Power Plant Day and Bridge Day and all this other stuff, now deliberately targeting infrastructure for citizens and things like that, what are the chances that he could cause other Middle Eastern nations to sympathize with Iran? Once you're starting to do this to citizens, we're outside of the scope of the military at this point. The threat that, the notion that we don't want Iran to become a nuclear threat, haven't we now succeeded at that? I mean, they barely have a military according to Trump. Everything's been obliterated. So why are we still doing all this stuff? Well, it's the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran has made it clear that the Strait of Hormuz will never return to normal. They're already charging $2 million, I believe, per ship that goes through. So they're making money off of that. But let me go straight to the box. We'll start it out with, I don't know what that says. That says Super Evil. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Yeah. And then I never heard
Super
back.
Evil, are you there? Okay, we'll move on. Apparently, he has a phone call. And real quick in the comments, Evil B Babu says, Tim is so in love with this man. Look at him sweating bricks for he's already super fluffing. The show just started. There's no fluffing. By the way, this is a no fluff zone. I have friends from Iran, and yes, they are pleased for what President Trump is doing. Trump said that earlier on the news. I should have had that clip queued up, but according to Trump, citizens in Iran want us to continue bombing that country. Does anybody really believe that? Even if you had the most evil regime in control of your nation that you could ever imagine, asking America to continue bombing leaves you exposed to errant ordnance. I mean, we blew up a school allegedly by mistake. You could be killed in this shit. Why would anybody want their country to continue being bombed? I don't care how bad or how angry you are at the regime. Those bombs do hit innocent people. Mistakes do get made. Why would you want a country to continue? I'm just going to tell you, and I see in the comments, Ms. Bobetta says they're lying. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. I don't give a damn how evil or how much I dislike any leader in America or what they're, even during the pre-civil rights days. I don't want somebody bombing a fucking country from the air. Anybody could get hit with that shit. That's crazy to even believe. For anybody who believes that the Iranian citizens are asking, blowing up bridges and all, they don't want that. That makes no sense. Handsome conservative. Conservatives and Republicans and Democrats of all ages. My name is the Handsome Conservative, and I bring to you from the island of relevancy, the man with the plan, the host with the most, the Handsome Conservative. I got to hire you as a hype man. Some of the most beautiful scripts you come out with. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support, Handsome Conservative. Yeah, I don't believe though. I don't believe one bit that the citizens of Iran are asking to be bombed. You don't, like I said, there's just too much room for error for anybody to want that. But let me move it on with the program. Pro-American. Good evening.
What's up? What's going on, man?
Not much at all. Not much at all. So, Power Plant Day and Bridge Day. Do you favor that?
I'm totally against it.
Are you against the war itself?
100% against it.
Why are you against it? I mean, let me ask you this. Let me ask it to you this way: are you concerned with Iran becoming a nuclear power?
Not at all.
We've had several presidents state that they were trying, and it put our safety at risk. So you believe they all been lying?
Possibly. I mean, I feel like they're all, left wing, right wing, same bird, right?
No. You really believe that Trump and Biden come from the same bird?
I think so, man. I think they all come from the same power.
What does Trump and Biden have in common, in your opinion?
Man, they're both sleepy as hell.
Hell, I'm sleepy right now too, but I want to talk to you fine folks. By the way, tap the screen. I'm standing waiting to talk to y'all. Get us up to 20,000. What else do they have in common?
They're both full of lies.
Shit, so was my ex-wife. You got to give me something better than that.
I don't know. I just believe it's all bullshit.
So you're telling me that Biden and Trump are from the same bird. I don't know if you've given me anything that would really validate that. To me, I see Biden is one of the more leftist politicians we've had recently. So was Obama. Certainly compared to, let's say, Bill Clinton and some of the ones before him. And of course, Trump is way far to the right. I don't see how you walk away thinking these two gentlemen are from the same bird.
Possibly, man. What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on the war?
Well, I don't think these men are from the same bird. I'll tell you this, under Biden, we wouldn't be at war. That's how much different they are. Under Kamala Harris, we would not be at war. Under Obama, we clearly would not be at war. So,
I agree.
Huh?
I agree.
Yeah. So that alone shows you they're not from the same cloth. I mean, just the agenda, period. In fact, Trump's agenda for America is radically different than even some previous Republicans. So he's from a different bird than every other president in our lifetime. So I don't see anybody I would suggest is from the same cloth as him. But in regards to the actual war, I think Iran has earned a negative reputation with the West, particularly the United States, but I don't believe the claims of Trump and Netanyahu have been proven.
Right. So is that backdrop? Is it just for rage bait?
What is the backdrop?
Your backdrop, the Trump and Vance.
No, there are presidents. Before Trump and Vance, there was Kamala Harris and Biden up there. No, they're the current presidents, president and vice president. And once they're gone, if Vance ends up moving up and somebody else is running mate, they'll replace what you see here. So no, that's just who is in charge.
Okay. But did you support Trump?
No, you know something. I didn't think his first term. I didn't think he was like horrible, But for me, when he started talking about giving police immunity in liberal cities, it was kind of a disqualifier for me. I could not support that. And since he's become president, he's kind of lived up to that, at least with ICE. Economy wise, I didn't think he was doing a bad job. I'm okay with securing the border, but I'm not okay with any police force being told they have immunity.
Agree, 100% agree with that.
So, so you don't favor Trump? Did you favor Biden?
You know what? I felt like when Biden was in office, I didn't see all this crap going on, right?
Okay.
So I would say I would rather have Biden than Trump.
Did you vote for Biden?
I did.
Okay. Did you vote for Kamala Harris?
I did.
Okay. What do you think if Kamala Harris was in office, America would be? Do you think America would be in better shape?
Oh, 100%.
All right, fair enough. Well, I don't know. I mean, you do hear Trump suggesting that the deal that Obama made with Iran was a bad deal, and they were about to get their hands on a nuclear weapon. But you made it clear in the beginning you don't feel there was any major threat from Iran.
I don't think so.
All right, fair enough. Well, I'll leave it at that. But at the end of the day, we're in it now. How do you think it ends?
Yeah, hopefully not with World War III. Hopefully the family gets impeached come midterms, and someone else can take over and clean up this crap.
Wait a minute. So you want Trump to be impeached after the midterms?
I mean, even if it was now, even better.
So you do understand they unsuccessfully tried to have him thrown out of office twice already. Is it possible that if they do this again, it could backfire on the Democrats? Some say it backfired before.
Maybe it can happen.
But you want to do it anyway.
I mean, in order for him to be removed legally, through impeachment, I think it's worth a try.
What has he done, in your opinion, that denotes removing him from office completely?
I believe he's broken the Constitution. He's violated the Constitution.
Elaborate. What do you mean? What has he done specifically that is in violation of the Constitution?
Trying to remove birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment, right? I think just that is crazy.
Well, he's trying, but he hasn't actually done that yet. So, I mean, yeah. I don't know if you could impeach him based on him trying. He hasn't done that.
No, he has not. But I mean, I get your point, right? He hasn't actually done anything, but just the fact that he's trying to do something, trying to violate the Constitution, and then people are for it. Like, how do you call yourself a patriot when you're going against the Constitution and you only want to follow what feels right for you, right? Like, oh, I support the Second Amendment, but I don't support the 14th.
Well, but everybody is going to be okay with breaking a few rules or bending a few rules when it favors them. I mean, some folks can bring up some of the transgender issues, redefining what a woman is. Some folks are going to say that may break a few rules and things like that, but it's something that favored them. I mean, but I'm talking about what has he actually done officially that is worthy of impeaching him?
Let me see. Elish says starting a war without the authority of Congress.
Well, he's not the first to do that, though. I believe Obama has gotten us into some conflicts. I mean, he's not the first to do something of that nature without getting Congress to declare it. His is bigger. Obviously, what we're dealing with in Iran is bigger, but we have had other cases where presidents have gotten us involved in military skirmishes without requesting Congress declare a war.
Right.
So it sounds like you're starting to like Trump a little bit more. See, we're getting you somewhere. See, we're getting somewhere. We might. So can I send you a MAGA hat? Let me know your address. Maybe I can send you a hat.
I'm good, man.
Well,
Never catch me wearing that.
huh?
Never catch me wearing that.
All right, fair enough. Well, let me ask you something. You're walking down the street, 4 or 5 dudes are coming your way, and they happen to be wearing MAGA hats. Would it cause you to form an opinion of them?
Nope. Simply just look at them weird. Just look at them, ignore them. I don't go to people based off of how they voted or what their beliefs are. I don't care. I mean, as long as they're not coming up to me, if they see me with the damn Biden Harris shirt, everyone can have their own opinion. They're entitled to their own opinion. It's their right. I don't cry me.
I actually liked it. Everybody can have their own opinion. You go out on a blind date. You're sitting at the table, and all of a sudden, your date you're going to meet walks in the restaurant. She's wearing a Trump shirt. No opinion at all, right? You're still okay with the date, correct?
Yeah, I'll order myself a steak, some lobster. Tell her I'm going to the bathroom, and I'll take off.
Wait a minute. I thought everybody was entitled to their opinion. Suddenly the girl has a shirt on and you're going to leave her?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't going to be messing with no MAGA.
Oh, come on. So I thought everybody was entitled to their own opinion. So you want...
She is, but, I know that we're probably not going to have the same beliefs when it comes down to politics.
What about not talking politics? What about just having a really good day and never seeing where it leads? Do you have to be politically yoked, as they say?
If she's hot, if she's a hot Latina, I'll probably stay. I'll still make her.
We're getting there. We vote for Donald Trump. Okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, well, I guess it all depends, right?
All right. See, there we go. So now you're okay for the hat. Now you're okay for a Trump shirt. See how we can come together. We're unifying here. I think we're making progress. I'll leave it at that. What is the name? They're pro-American. With a name like that, you sound like MAGA.
Pro-America, anti-felon.
Well, that's generally a phrase often used by the right, which is why you ended up coming up. I was expecting to hear MAGA. I'm really surprised. You got a very patriotic name there that you normally hear from folks on the right.
Yep, I support the Constitution. I love the country. I just don't like the current, current administration.
What can he do to win you over?
It's a good question. I never been asked that question.
Well, now you have. What can he do to win you over?
I'd have to think about it, honestly.
But there is something out there. If you take time and think about it, there is something out there that could lead our president to win you over, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you mentioned it, I feel like his first term wasn't as bad as this term. Like his first term, I felt like there's not much difference, right? Yeah, we had some racist crap going on, but I feel like this term was just like, on steroids.
Well, just for some of my beloved MAGA that may be tuning in, you see, we have some racist crap. MAGA would suggest that President Trump has done more, let's say, for blacks than anybody else since Abraham Lincoln. What racist crap have you seen?
I mean, I'm brown.
I'm a couple shades that way myself. Okay, so when you say some racist crap, I need an explanation.
Typically, when you hear some racist shit, it's coming from someone with the MAGA hat on. I seen it myself in person, not just on videos. And it's that's what's threw me off, right?
Racist, somebody with a MAGA hat on. Give me an example of something you heard or saw.
Go back to your country. Go back to where you came from. Shit like that.
Yeah, but is that racist? I mean, if somebody is here from another country, they're here illegally, they may be doing something criminal. Is it wrong to say, look, just like if somebody was in your yard with their dog shitting. Go back to your own house and do that. Don't have your dog shitting. I mean, is it wrong if they're doing something wrong to tell them to go back to where they came from?
I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, if it's go back home, go back to your house, right? Go make your dog shit in your yard.
Right.
I feel like it's not the same as telling someone, if someone tells me, go back to Mexico. What do you mean go back to Mexico,
Do you believe our border should be secure?
100%, yes.
If a person is in this country with no legal right to be here, do you believe they should be shown the door?
I believe it depends how long they've been in the country for, how they contributed to the country, and if they have any sort of like criminal record.
So what are you saying, that if you break the law and you can stay under the radar long enough, you should get away with it?
Not necessarily, right?
If you're here without legal right to be here, you've broken a law, whether it's overstaying your visa, whether it's illegal entry, you have broken a law. And it sounds like you're saying that as long as you don't get caught after a certain period of time and you maintain some level of civility, you should be able to get away with doing it.
Right.
Is that your take on this? Is that what you agree with?
Let me see. I would agree with that most of the part. Yes.
So where does it stop? I mean, if I go out and steal a car and I don't get caught after a certain period of time, should they drop the warrant? I mean, where does this? I mean, you're now openly being okay with breaking laws. We're both admitting the person that came here illegally broke a law. And you're saying that if they can stay under the radar long enough, they should be forgiven for the crime. Where does it end?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes both ways, right? Like, where does it stop for U.S. citizens, right? Where do we send them when they keep breaking laws?
Well, I mean, you send them back to from whence they came. I mean, if you came from Mexico and you're here illegally, Mexico will take you back. So you go back to where you came from, assuming we don't have a desire to prosecute you for breaking the crime, because you can temporarily spend some time in jail. I mean, there are countries that may throw you in jail for a number of years first and then deport you.
Right.
So simply sending you back home is kind of doing you a favor. That means you broke the law and you're not being punished at all.
Right.
So you do agree then, if you're here illegally, you should be shown the door, correct?
Correct.
All right. We're going to get you that MAGA hat. You're transforming right in our very front of our very eyes. You're doing good, man. You're doing good. All right. Fair enough. Like I said, pay close attention to the president. You seem to have a lot. You started out the line by saying two birds of the same feather. I think that might be you, sir. You sound like you have a lot in common with President Trump. I think we're good. We're making progress.
I don't know about that.
You want the border secure, right? You want to know who's in this country.
Yes.
You don't want people being allowed to get away with crimes, right? You want justice, right?
For everyone, doesn't matter, your citizenship status.
All right. You want justice for everyone, including folks who are here illegally.
Yes.
All right. A lot of progress. I'll leave it at that. Appreciate you coming through, pro-American. Come on. This isn't our first time talking, is it?
It is.
It is. Okay, good. Well, don't be a stranger. Come on back. Next time, feel free to put on the right gear. You're sounding good. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, moving on with the show. Sometimes folks don't know what's in them until you actually bring it to the surface. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Looking in the comments, man, we can't let every goddamn body coming over here and say, yeah, true. They don't want criminals in the country, but they put one as our so-called president. Well, yeah, that actually is true. I mean, he does officially have felonies on him. So officially, Trump is a criminal, whether or not you agree with the charges or how they were implemented, whatever the case may be. But officially, yes, he is a criminal. Tap the screen, by the way. Turned dude. he's he's says turned dude out. Oh, that was funny. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up, if you will. Get us on up to 35,000. Miss Bobetta. I've never been accused of turning somebody out. I've never been accused of that. Okay, tap, never know what comes down the pipe. Weren't the natives here first and the USA got occupied with Caucasians? What country did they all come from, Tim? Wasn't they just exploring new land? Why did they settle? Answer me. Well, the Caucasian were first invited here on friendly terms. They just turned out to be an awful guest with sinister intentions. And they weren't asked to leave. They ended up fighting to stay and won over the country. So yeah, you can't really go by the same way of the illegal immigrants, because the illegal immigrants are pleading with the government in place to allow them to stay. Now, if the illegal immigrants all banded together, formed a military, and fought to take control of the country, then they would have a lot more in common with the colonizers. But otherwise, the colonizers did not beg the Native Americans to grant them citizenship. So it's a little bit different in that. Black Timmy is drunk. Somebody said 2812 says Black Timmy is drunk. Countdown to Taco Tuesday or War Crimes Tuesday. Neither one of those are good options. Neither one of those are good options. Anyway, let me get back to the box. Help your boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok, cap go. You know what I always say. 1 million mentions in the Epstein files out of Iran has been releasing a hell of a lot of these Lego videos, and one of them they talk about that. Shit, I mean, a lot of that's been coming out. Let me go to the box and we'll make it happen. I think, what does that say? Pre-screwed or something? Some interesting new callers here. Don't know if it brought her up or not. Apparently not. We'll continue on and make it happen with Sexy Red. Now, Sexy Red, I need you to be a little general today. We don't want to lose coverage. Sexy, good evening.
What the fuck is wrong with you? On God. I can't even get a blunt rolled up. I am going to... You know what, Jim? I cannot... You're drinking so much bleach. You're drinking so much uncooked fucking protein. Here we go. And you know what? I was trying to be fucking nice today.
You're doing good.
See, Jesus was working with me this weekend. I was being nice all weekend. I seen a maggot and everything. I'm being nice for Christian ass.
Thank you.
Now my thuggish Christian ass is fixing to come on your ugly ass. On God. What the hell are you doing? Telling a Mexican to like Trump when he knows that he don't even like our asses.
You
What the fuck?
You do know a lot of Mexicans voted for Trump, right?
No.
Yes.
No. It wasn't Mexicans. So you got Mexicans, you got Venezuelans, and you got the Cubanos. The Cubanos and the Venezuelans did. 67% of Mexicans voted for her. Shut your ass up.
So that means 30. So that means 33% of them voted for Trump. That's still.
That's not more. That's not most of them.
I didn't say most. I said you know a lot of them voted for Trump.
That's not a lot. Thank you. That's not a lot.
33.
So shut your mouth up. Why are you telling somebody that you like maggot? You like the damn crusty cheese burrito that's in their fucking office now. And you know what? You know what though? You know what? Let me tell you something about that little maggot. He disrespected the Christians and the Catholics. He disrespected us bad at 5 o'clock in the morning on Easter.
You talking about the?
Praise Allah. Who does that shit on Easter?
Well, maybe he wants to honor their God.
No, on Easter you don't do all that. No, he didn't even say Happy Easter, nothing. He just went boom ba. You know?
Well,
he's a wannabe Christian. I told your ass that.
Well, he did say.
And why are you telling people, oh, you have to like him? Oh, what? About the border? No, undocumented immigrants should stay here if they are contributing to society because they put more into the system than anybody else does, and they don't get nothing out of it.
So then I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Are you saying if somebody come here illegally, as long as they stay under the radar, they should be allowed to stay?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You driving with road rage talking to me?
That motherfucker almost hit me.
You shouldn't be.
Almost hit me.
You shouldn't be.
Oh, God.
You shouldn't be talking to me while you doing this.
No, it wasn't my fault. This motherfucker backed the hell up and didn't even see me. Motherfucker told me how to drive it.
Oh my. Okay,
Oh, God.
well, I'll try my best not to ask you to look at the screen. I'll try my best,
No, I'm
cause
not looking at. I'm looking at. Well, I'm kind of looking at you with your ugly ass, but you're not that cute to look at. After what I heard today.
okay. But other than that, so you do believe if somebody breaks the law and they stay, you got a lot going on.
If somebody breaks the law, yeah, they should get out. But hell, then if that's the case, our president should be getting out then.
Well, then according to
You
you,
guys can't hold higher standards. This is what's crazy. You guys are holding higher standards to undocumented immigrants, but you got a felon in office and plus a pedo.
no,
How
but
do you do all this shit?
well, look, we'll talk about Trump in a minute. But according to you,
No.
wait a minute, no, I want to tackle your
You
statement.
want so much for black and brown people. You want so much for black and brown people, right? To be all humbled and they can't commit a crime and stuff. Oh, but God forbid you have a white team in office that is a no pedo and that's a convicted felon and what?
They did take him to court. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, he got.
And you mean, listen, get the cock out your mouth, you know what I mean? And listen, he's a convicted felon at the end of the day.
But
Thank you.
based on what you said, if somebody commits a crime, they need to be kicked out of the country. Then, if they're here illegally, they are indeed in criminal status with America.
No, let's not go there. Then let's kick everybody out then. Whoever did a crime.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up.
So it sounds like you got something in common with Trump too.
You know what? That thing is civil. If you really think about it, it's civil. It's civil. Crossing the border is civil. And you know why? It's Joe Ugly, fat ass.
Okay. That's what gets you kicked. That's what they call bullying.
I better be quiet. I gotta be nice. Is your turtle looking ass gonna be up there? I can't say something. Is your turtle looking ass gonna be up there picking the strawberries and stuff?
What the fuck is a
You might have to cup a pound.
I'm not even wearing a turtleneck. What the fuck is a turtle?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. You be making up the shit. I guess that's better than a Muppet. Maybe that's an upgrade. What the fuck
No,
is
you a Muppet for real today.
God.
You dancing like a total Muppet. Like, yes, master, get the whips. Yes, master.
Okay.
He has done nothing. You know what? In this term, he has done nothing. Nothing for us. He has made money off of everybody. He has made money and everything. He has not did one thing for the United States people. But now...
That ain't true. That's not true.
What has he done?
He
What has he done for us?
secured the damn border. We just talked about it.
Thing. Name me the three things that makes a secure border. I'll wait.
Getting rid of
No. All his numbers are low. All his numbers are low. Lower than Biden, lower than Obama. All of them. Don't look at me like that, turtle ass. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me puppet like that, because you know I'm not. Quit bluffing. Get off your knees. I've been sending you some knee pads. I know that white man's shoulders go like that BJ.
How about this? If folks are in this country that do have a criminal history after sneaking in the country, he's gotten rid of a bunch of them. Does he deserve credit for that?
Over 70% who he deported had no criminal history, had jobs and stuff. Shut your ass up about that. Shut your ass up.
But think
over
about
70%. Way over 70%. Shut up.
Think about what you're saying.
He needs them back. Now he needs them back because everybody's crying about the farms and stuff. Now he wants people back. Get off your knees, Tim.
Okay,
Get off your knees.
I want to take your words. Before I do though, for you folks on YouTube, I need you guys to smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA, and damn, does this guest need some MAGA in her life? Tap the like button.
Yeah, right.
Okay, what I want to say, you said 70%. So that means whatever. That means a good 20 to 30% of the people he's kicking out have criminal records. That's a lot of people.
How about the ones that don't have criminal records? Why are they kicking him and them out?
Because they're
They
here.
had nothing wrong.
Because
They
they're
kicked the white female out. How about that?
because they're here illegally too.
Your black ass is here illegally too. How about that?
Let me ask you a simple question. Let me ask you a simple question. Why the hell have laws if you're not going to implement them? You're not going to enforce them. Why have a border or immigration law at all?
He came into office. Biden, the first day came into office, had a bill. Oh no, the Republicans didn't like it, so they came up with another bill. Oh no, Trump told them not to do it. Don't vote on it because we have nothing else to vote on. We have nothing else to run on. Don't do it. So shut me up with all they want to do the border. They don't give a damn about the border. All this was all about the hate and shit. What are you talking about? Quit getting, you know what, Tim? I'm starting to lose highly respect for you. You know what I mean? Because you know what? You truly are a fucking maggot. You like it up your ass without fucking lube. You like the white man so much that you sell your soul to the fucking white man. You ain't pro-black. You ain't pro-shit.
Is that what this is? Is that what this is about? Being
we'll put you in a chair.
Hold on.
Before anything.
Hold on. I want to ask you a question based on what you said, but before I do, Evil Be by Boots says, Tim, good afternoon. Tell Gangsta Grandma I miss her and I love you. Okay, you got a fan there. Now, you said I'm not pro-black. Are we not talking? Hold on. Are we not talking about doing what's in the best interest of this country and putting in the best candidate, or are we just talking about being black?
Oh my God. You know what? If we had the black woman in office, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. We would be going to sleep knowing that our house, our home, everything is good. You know what I mean?
What?
You can't even buy homes right. Shut your ugly ass up. You ain't pro shit. You're pro-white.
This ain't got nothing to do with being pro anything.
Put the white sheet on your damn head. Go put the white sheet on your head. On God.
This ain't.
Go put you fucking kissing ass to.
This is not about kissing ass. This is simple.
You are drinking that bleach. You'll never see my black ass anywhere around a maggot. I can never be a friend of a maggot. I can never fuck a maggot. I can never kiss a maggot. I can't even be in the same room with a maggot. That's me. Because I know I'm pro-black. And you know what? I know I stand with my sisters, my brothers, my brown sisters. It ain't shit what you over here standing for. You're standing for the white team and they'll put you in a tree. That's what anybody else will. But you over here kissing ass.
Gangsta, first of all, nobody's being put in trees in 2026. But let me.
What are you talking about? It's still going. Oh my, you know what, Tim? You're so fucking delusional. You're so damn delusional. You are beyond delusional. But go ahead, Tim. Go to one of the white tea barbecues of a maggot and see how far you will get.
Is it safe to assume when it comes to MAGA, you genuinely have hate in your heart?
When it comes to maggots?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I do. What the hell are you talking about?
So
I wouldn't. They put us in a bad situation. They put us in a situation that we don't even know how we're going to get out of. What UAR that we shouldn't even be in. For who? Why should we be over there? I paid over $8. No, you be quiet. I paid over $8 a gallon of gas for something that I didn't do.
You paid over $8 a gallon for gas, and you're blaming Trump. Most of the nation is not paying $8 a gallon.
What are you talking about?
I'm just simply. Most of the nation is not paying $8 a gallon. You can't blame that on Trump.
It's in cash.
You got a bad signal. Okay, she's going in now. We'll move it on. Unfortunately, Gangsta Grandma, one of the more passionate guests on the show, had a bad signal. Anyway, Gangsta Grandma is always welcome back. Looking in the comments, tap the screen, get us on up to 50,000. Somewhat of a devil's advocate, my dear. I think some of you folks realize that. Looking in the comments, Tim has been eating too many dogs and cats. Yikes. We don't put dogs and cats on the menu there, Nico. We don't put. Timmy is KKK. Chocolate Krispy Kreme. Now check this out. This came from who said that? My damn eyesight. Well, I can see the actual text, but I can't see the names because they make the damn text smaller. But came from Fred is back. Good evening, Fred is back 6'9". He says Timmy is KKK. The K's are capitalized. Then he says chocolate Krispy Kreme. He spells chocolate KHOCOLATE. I've never seen chocolate spelled with a K. Chocolate Krispy Kreme, and then of course Krispy and Kreme. That's different. That's different. That's creative. If the definition is people that would unalive me and destroy our entire country in the name of hatred, bigotry, and misinformation, not people I would support, opposite of a good neighbor. If that is the case, I would agree with you if somebody's out to destroy the country and they're promoting hatred and bigotry. I wouldn't disagree with that. Let me get back to the actual show. Tap the screen, get us up to 50,000. It's higher now than it's been the whole time Trump's office is actually paid. Yeah, gas prices are higher, but she said she was paying $8 a gallon. If I asked all of you folks to give me the average price of gas and the city you reside in, I don't think hardly any of you would put $8 in there. Gas right now where I'm at, 4 or something. I don't think anybody would put 8. That's got to be, even there are places in California, because I see somebody say California. Even in California, there are places you can get gas for less than $8 a gallon. That's really high. That's on the highest end. I don't know where she's at exactly. Where is gas $8 a gallon at? I mean, listen, we can certainly criticize the Iranian war when it comes to gas prices. That's something that Trump implemented. So right now, the high gas prices are a dig at Trump, no doubt. He owns that. But I think it's easier to just bring up that gas, since Trump has done this, has went up over $1 a gallon than to throw out an $8 a gallon price, because that's not happening to most people. I mean, to me, the truth is bad enough, which is, gas has went up $1 to $1.50 a gallon in a little bit over a month's time. That's bad enough, but $8 a gallon is kind of exaggerating for probably 99% of Americans. Let me go back to the box. Melissa, did he say he likes the poorly educated? He did say that. And next week you'll be saying it's $10 a gallon. Well, if it goes to $10 a gallon, I absolutely will cover that. I got straight talk. Some of you folks have heard on the show saying gas will be $2 or less per gallon this month. So go figure. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with the handsome conservative. $2 a gallon. Yeah, I see Blue says, yeah, right. That would be impressive. That would be impressive. If Trump gets gas down to that range, can I send out some MAGA hats? By the way, tap the screen, get the likes up to 50,000. Feel free to help your boy out with the TikTok cap and hat and mustache. Handsome conservative, you got some background noise there.
Do I?
Yeah, it was like it was a television or somebody talking, but I can hear you now.
No, I was getting a phone call. I had to hang up.
Okay.
Listen, I just wanted to come on here and just say how awesome is it to have an amazing president that would spend any amount of money and manpower to go into enemy territory in the middle of a war to rescue one of the greatest heroes, a military man, and bring him home safely. I bet you a Democrat hasn't said that yet.
No, but I bet you a Democrat would have done it. I don't think there's any president that would have left that pilot hanging. So,
I agree with you, but we don't have a Democrat president right now. And like you said, we can't speak on presidents that aren't in office.
True.
So how amazing is it that we have such a great president that would save a member of the military at any cost? That's amazing.
I agree that it is awesome that this guy was saved. Just like I agreed that it was awesome when bin Laden was taken out. And just like you're saying, the Democrats are not giving Trump any credit. They criticized Obama and said he was being a narcissist for taking credit for bin Laden being killed. I mean, it is what it is.
I agree with what you're saying, but I can't speak on that because Obama is not in office.
Okay.
I can only speak on the president that's in office. And I thought, I watched videos today of people complaining about how much it costs to go in to save that one guy. And I was like, I didn't care how much was spent. I don't care how much it cost.
Here's what I don't.
He's a hero.
Yeah, it's a heroic effort. I'm not going to take away from that. But here's what I don't like. Everything else that Americans need, we focus on cost. Healthcare. People could be dying. I mean, if you needed a heart or you needed a kidney transplant, they would literally make a decision whether or not to help you based on cost. Now, this guy is part of the military. I get it. But he's an American just like you and I are. And under no circumstance, under no circumstance would they ever look at you and say, "We're going to save your life no matter what the cost." Everybody else is told. I mean, hell, even Charlie Kirk said kids in school shouldn't get free lunch. It wasn't kids should eat no matter what the cost. So I agree it's a heroic effort, but why don't we have this towards all Americans?
I agree with you about health care. I think something does need to be done about health care. We've had that conversation. We're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as kids being fed in school, I don't care what it costs. We should all pitch in and feed kids in school. I'm a conservative, not a MAGA. Okay.
What's the difference? I want you to elaborate. What is the difference? You said you were.
The difference is conservative family values. God, man and woman, child. And we should all be looking out for the family structure.
And MAGA doesn't do that?
Some MAGA do. But I just want to say, I just wanted to come up here and say that guy, not the president, but the man himself, what he went through, bandaging himself, climbing way, way high away from the wreckage, staying out of sight. That dude is not just a hero. He is amazing. He is what everyone. I have great pride in our troops. That dude deserves credit.
Yeah, he'll probably
amazing president.
It'll probably be a movie deal. Yeah, and I'll give Trump credit for authorizing whatever it took to say the guy. I mean, the only time I've seen a president though or a politician not do it probably would be the accusations made about Benghazi, where Hillary Clinton refused or not refused, but I guess hesitant or whatever the case may be, and we ended up losing some people in regards to Benghazi. That was sounds like, if the information is correct, and I don't know if it is, but if the information is correct, it sounds like Hillary Clinton may have done somewhat the opposite of what happened with this rescue.
Right. Well, maybe I don't know much about Benghazi either. I mean, I haven't thought about that. But as far as what happened with this guy, I just wanted to hop on and throw my support. I think he's amazing. He's a hero, and I'm glad that he's home safe.
Same.
I don't care what the cost is. So, I mean, unless you want to keep, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I'll keep it short and sweet. But Trump is talking about blowing up the whole country. You know, he sent this message out over the weekend, said open the fucking straight. If he does do what he's suggesting, and me and you've talked about you don't think it's a war crime and all that stuff, but I do want to say this: if he ends up taking on this mayhem, there's likely there's a high probability that there may be other pilots like this. I'm with you on saving the guy no matter what the cost, but I'm not a fan of deliberately putting ourselves in a situation where there may be future pilots like this. Do you support Trump's claim that if they don't open up the fucking strait, is what he said, that he should blow up the whole country and all of that? Because that's going to be pilots and the possibility of getting shot down all over the place.
No. And I'm going to tell you why. Because me and you can argue as much as you want about this. But I'm going to be honest. I believe in strategic warfare. I believe in taking out infrastructure. I believe in getting the job done. And I would like the strait open too. But to carpet bomb a country full of people that are just trying to go to work, just trying to support their families, I have always said I'm against that. That I'm against. There's a difference to me. I know you don't agree with me.
Not at all.
Honestly,
let me ask it to you this way. Let me ask it to you this way. What is the benefit of taking out fresh water for Iran? Because you're saying that's not a war crime. You're saying that's a fair target. Why do you what is the benefit, or why would you as a strategic planner or general or even in Hegseth's position, why would you authorize doing that to a country?
I would think, and this is all hypothetical, I can't tell you that this is going to happen, but if we take out their power plants and we take out their water infrastructure, they're going to be so busy building that back up, getting that back together, because like you said, the people can't starve to death and they can't go without water. They're going to be so busy getting that back together that we can go in and open up the street.
Wouldn't that apply to carpet? But wouldn't that apply to carpet bombing as well? If you carpet bomb the country, they're going to be so busy rebuilding it. I mean, you could say the same thing about carpet bombing.
Carpet bombing is unnecessary. I don't believe it's a necessary thing. I don't believe that killing 50,000 people is the same thing as taking out a power plant or a water structure. Okay, that's not the same thing to me. I believe in doing exactly what needs to be done, getting the strait open, which we don't even need open, by the way. We don't need that oil. We got plenty of oil. We can frack here. We can get all the oil we need from our own country. We really don't need.
Yeah, but isn't that strait provides more than oil, fertilizer? I mean, your plastics come from. I mean, this is actually dealing with more than just oil.
You're right. You're right. And you know what? Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I had to hang up on a call. You're right. 100%. Fertilizer, oil, all of that comes from the strait. And if it's really, really important, then let's get some of these allies that we pretend we have and have them come in and help us open the strait. If not, that's on them.
I disagree with the ally comment because we didn't give them the heads up that we were going in. To me, once you start a war or a bombing campaign and you don't give me the heads up to get my own citizens out of harm's way, you're not an ally. I mean, I could lose people because you're bombing this place. And you couldn't just call me and tell me next Friday, make sure your people ain't there. You couldn't do that for me. And now all of a sudden you expected me to be there for you.
No, that's the thing. I don't expect you to be there for me. I expect you as a country to be there for your best interest and for the interest of your people. The UK, England, they need the oil. They need the fertilizer. We need fertilizer too, but they need the oil. Okay? The EU, they need the oil. I've been watching videos of countries talking about price gouging and people taking.
Yeah, but why are they in that situation? If you go back before Trump decided to attack Iran, they were not dealing with all this. So now you don't put them you don't pin their back against the wall, and now you're telling them, well, now you need to fight. I mean, I wasn't even involved in this. It's like you punched the big guy next to me. And now all of a sudden he's attacking us. Well, why won't you get in it? You need to survive, right? Like I wasn't in a fight until you hit the guy.
Completely fair. It's I agree with you. Completely fair. But let me ask you this. Now that we are in the position that we're in, instead of why we are in there, now that we are in the position that we're in, being that they need the gas and oil, what's in their best interest?
Probably
to go without oil. The last tanker of oil going to the UK is already halfway there, and that's the last tanker.
Probably what's in there, as opposed to going into war with Iran or risking their ships in the strait like Trump is asking. What's in their best interest is to probably call Iran up directly and tell them, I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. Let me know what I got to do to help get straight with you. Whatever you got going on, that's between you and Trump. What do I got to do so you know I ain't got nothing to do with that?
That's easy. They've already answered that question. Pay them a toll to get your oil through, and I think it was like $1 million or something like that a ship or something like that. It was really high. It was a high amount per ship. So if they want to pay Iran, they can do it. Or if they want to get the straight opening,
well, you could make other deals with Iran that don't involve paying that $1 million, such as making it clear from now on that now that we don't see what happened between America and you guys under Trump, how about we make a deal that as long as you don't fuck with us, we're not going to follow America into any more excursions with you going forward. I mean, we as opposed to making us pay that $1 million. Go ahead.
I think with Trump in office, and this is just my opinion, again, just my opinion, but with Trump in office, that's going to do one or two things. One, that's going to probably get them the oil. And two, it's going to probably take us out of NATO. And Trump's already threatened.
Right. So, I mean, it's 6.5 dozen or the other.
And if we do that, remember what NATO just said on the news the other day. They said, without the U.S. military, because we haven't been spending money on our military, without the U.S. military, we are almost helpless. And they are living right next to Russia. So
I don't.
What do you want to do?
Well, first of all, there's no way in hell I believe that NATO is almost helpless. When you look, I've said this before. When you compare NATO to other countries around the world, there's only maybe Russia, China. How many countries could take on NATO and win successfully? They're still a powerhouse without America. They're not weak like that.
That's easy. NATO can put up a hell of a fight
right.
as long as our troops and our military, are still in their countries. We are in their countries supporting them, making them as strong as they are.
So then let me ask you, right. Okay, if America separates from NATO and we take our military out of their country, I still submit to you that those nations combined forming NATO is still a powerhouse on earth. There are nuclear member nations in that group. North Korea stands alone as a nuclear nation, and ain't nobody fucking with them. But all these nations, they gonna mess with them. Who's gonna mess with them?
I'll tell you who's gonna mess with them.
Who?
Russia.
Russia is
along with. Hold on a second. Now you asked me a question.
Okay.
Russia, with their allies, North Korea, are attacking Ukraine right now. Now, without our help,
are they getting it now?
Take Ukraine. They're going to take Ukraine, and then they're both going to be right up on the border of after they take Ukraine, they'll be up on the border of the alliance. You know what I'm talking about.
Here's why I disagree. First of all, Russia, if that happens, that's going to be some years down the road because Russia's military is in a seriously dilapidated state from fighting Ukraine for the last 4 years. They've lost a lot of men. They've lost almost 1 million men in that country, not to mention all of the weapons and blood and treasure. So Russia ain't going to do that no time soon, and that gives the NATO member nations time to invest money and rebuild their weapons. So I'm
smart enough.
Huh?
I'm smart enough to pretend. I'm smart enough to pretend right now that I'm Russia, and as Russia, the first thing I would do, military or not, if I was up against NATO, is instead of using nukes, I would use an EM pulse bomb, which they have. I would launch it and explode it over that area, taking out all of their electronics, all of their gas pumps, all of their water plants, and then I would invade with ground troops.
Yeah.
And that's how I would do it. And that's very possible.
No. I'll tell you, not only, like I said, first of all, Russia is in a seriously dilapidated state from fighting Ukraine for the last 4 years. Also, even if Trump leaves NATO, keep in mind that Ukraine is not a NATO member nation. We still have a vested interest in not letting Russia become a powerhouse. Because if Trump leaves NATO and then Russia decides to take over NATO and become this serious powerhouse, America's next. America's going to feel like they're next. So even if Trump leaves NATO, America's still going to feel obligated to at least become proxy partners to NATO. They'll sell us all the weapons we need. Just like Trump is willing to sell Ukraine all the weapons they need. And they got plenty of money in NATO. So they'll have a ton of F-15s and all the shit they need coming from us anyway. So I totally disagree with you.
Absolutely. But if we pull out, what they won't have is spare parts. What they won't have is more weapons. What they won't have
You didn't hear what I said.
Replacement parts.
You didn't hear what I said. We were giving the Ukraine weapons and replacements enough to keep them going with Russia. NATO has a considerable amount of money more than Ukraine. They will buy the weapons from us. They will buy the spare parts from us, and they will be a formidable force to Russia, even without the United States expending any bodies on the ground. They would be a formidable force to NATO just like that.
I doubt very seriously that we're going to sell them weapons and planes for a fight if we are pulling out of NATO. Hypothetically, if we pull out of NATO, we're pulling all our shit out. We're not giving or selling them anything.
Oh.
And I would say this, you may be right about NATO's strength. However, how quickly are they going to fall when the backing of the U.S. Army and military is pulled out? You're talking about Donald Trump. You're talking about Donald Trump, not Biden.
Donald Trump loves money. So if NATO forks over a ton of money for their own survival, and like I keep saying, even if America pulls out of NATO, they do not want Russia to become a powerhouse. So America is still going to back Russia, just like we backed the Ukraine. We didn't want Russia taking over the Ukraine. We're still going to back. We backed Afghanistan. That's not a member of NATO. We even backed them when they were fighting Russia. Anybody Russia attacks, America's going to back them. So we damn sure are going to protect our European brothers and sisters, whether NATO exists or not. So I don't buy that if we back out of NATO, we're not going to at least sell them weapons. I don't see that. That doesn't go according to our own history.
Well, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it's up to NATO. The thing of it is either they get involved and we get the strait open, or they don't get involved and they piss off Trump. We all know how Trump is when he gets pissed off, and you can't argue that point.
No, I can't argue that
if
point.
He gets pissed off, he has the ability to pull us out of NATO. If he does that, I'm sticking with the USA. I'm not sticking with NATO.
I don't say you should stick with NATO. I'm just simply saying NATO won't be anywhere near as weak as people were suggesting, because U.S. has ever since World War II, the United States has made it clear they have a vested interest in not letting Russia take over countries. We're absolutely not going to abandon English and French people and let Russia come take them out. Even without NATO, America's going to come to their aid in some shape or form.
Well, first of all, don't get me started on the French, because they should be taken over a long time ago. But let's take the French out of it, okay?
German,
let's talk about
Spanish, Italians.
We'll talk about real countries, okay? Not the French, but
that's wrong.
Listen, I cannot agree with you on that. Okay. But look. All I'm saying, because I know you got to let me go, is that I think that the worst thing in the world for them to do is to do nothing, okay? If they continue to do nothing, they're not going to get their oil, their fertilizer. It's not happening. They're going to have to get involved. The question is, who do you want to piss off, Iran or your ally that's been holding up your country for 30, 40, 50 years? That's really, it comes down to it. Right or wrong, debate or no debate, you got a choice to make.
I don't.
The right one.
Okay, fair enough. I do got to move it on. You're correct about that, but I will just say this. As long as President Trump is our nation's commander-in-chief, I do not believe the United States is an ally of NATO. Okay. I just don't. I mean, he's talking about taking Greenland. We would not view any other nation on earth that threatened another NATO member nation as an ally of NATO. I don't see how America can do that.
That's another reason to pull out of NATO. Let NATO fight with Russia. We take over Greenland. Damn, you're just coming up with good ideas. And look, 3 things before I go. 1, support your local liberal. 2, America, fuck yeah. And 3, what a great fucking president we have. What a man. What a hero.
Handsome
God bless
conservative.
America.
Handsome conservative, everybody. Thank you for coming through. You're correct. Support your local liberal, by the way. You can do that with hat and mustache and meeting the TikTok cap goal. But like I said, what I was telling him, I absolutely believe that. America has been on the opposite side of every single nation, probably since the Cold War. I mean, since World War II. Even including the Berlin airdrop, when they were dividing up Berlin. America has deliberately chosen, thank you for the hat mustache there, Jovial, appreciate it. America has deliberately chosen to be on the opposite end of every Russian enemy since the Stalin years, since World War II. And I mentioned even the Berlin airdrop. So why would we think that if America pulls out of NATO, we're going to just let Russia have all of Western Europe? There's tons of Americans that live in Western Europe. There's no way in hell, even if Trump pulls out of NATO, that America's not going to be, at the very least, a proxy ally to Western Europe. We don't want Russia to take over all of that shit and become a powerhouse on that side of the planet, because we would start feeling that we may be next. So there's no way that NATO member nations should have to worry about that. And then, of course, like I said, they also have enough money to buy a ton of military equipment from the U.S. or, by the way, France and the Swiss, I believe, Sweden, they make some pretty high-performance jets. So they could, once they feel that they're in danger, they would step up their military effort. They would step that up. If America just abandoned NATO, I believe they're doing it now, because Trump has already talked about leaving NATO. I believe they're already doing things to step up their military might, their unity, and become less dependent on the United States, because Trump has shown them that Big Brother is only one rogue leader away from not becoming a reliable brother. So I believe it's already happening, but I just stand by that statement. If we get out of NATO, NATO would become a powerhouse on its own. And as my last caller was talking about, if we withdraw all our bases from all of those Western European countries, what does that do to us? We would lose a significant amount of influence. That doesn't make us stronger. That makes us weaker. Now we're not involved in foreign affairs and all kinds of shit. Not to mention a lot of our enemies, we have those bases near them for a reason. Suddenly we would not have bases near Russia. Some of our enemies, because Russia, even if we pull out of NATO, Russia's still an enemy of ours. So now we have no bases near their country, anything. So it wouldn't be beneficial for us to pull out of NATO either. Anyway, but looking in the comments, that would end I kind of agree with that. Some I cannot pronounce the name, Victor or something, says that would be the end of the American empire. I actually believe that. That would certainly be the end of America playing the world's police, because now you would not have access to a host of nations, a host of waterways, and all kinds of other shit. It would weaken us globally quite a bit. And I don't think the US dollar would be the standard after doing that shit either. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 80. Help your boy out, support the program. We're already at the end. I hope not. America World Police wasn't supposed to be a documentary. Well, Trump said he wasn't going to do that. And of course, he's backtracked, because now he's talking about going to what? Cuba next? They got a bad dictator, so we got to go there and do something about it. That wasn't what he ran. He ran on being America first, not taking care of, Venezuelan citizens and taking care of Iranian citizens. Where the hell did all this come from? So he's definitely doing the opposite of that. But going to the box will make it happen with the one and only Duke Vader. I don't know if it's going to bring him up. If not, we'll move on. Sometimes the box can be like that. There we go. Duke, good evening.
Hey, man, I didn't know my request was still going on. I was watching TV. What's going on, Handsome Liberal?
What are we doing in Iran? What the hell's going on? Now, you're military. Do you favor this war?
This is not a war. I keep telling you that.
What is it?
This is a naval operation and an air campaign.
So if
just like Kosovo.
so, you're Army, right?
Yes, I'm United States Army, airborne engineer.
If you were over there dealing with this, your mom would be saying you not in the war, huh?
I don't ask for mommy's permission.
That ain't what I didn't tell you. I didn't say you had to ask. What would she be calling this? My son is in an excursion.
Well, since my mom was married to an Air Force veteran, okay, she would support anything that I do.
I didn't say she wouldn't support it. I'm asking, what would she tell her son? What is her son involved in? This ain't a war. What are you calling this again?
This is a naval campaign in an air operation.
Naval campaign.
I'm sorry. Air campaign and naval operation. That's what this is.
Is that how history will judge this, as a naval campaign and an air operation?
That's what this is. This is
I didn't ask you that. I get what you're saying it is. Is that when this goes into history books, is that what it will be called? A naval campaign and an air operation?
I don't care what history books call it. I'm telling you what it is.
Oh, okay. But what do you think the history books are going to call it?
Don't care what the history books call it, bro.
Why doesn't Trump call it a naval?
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Did they call the Vietnam War a war?
Yeah.
Was it a war?
Even the veterans say back when I was in the war.
Was it a war?
History calls it a war. Yes, it's called a war.
Was history right?
Yes.
So Congress declared it a war.
The government calls it a war. Period.
Did Congress declare it a war?
It ain't got nothing to do with just Congress.
Don't stutter now.
I made it clear. It ain't got nothing to do with just Congress.
When was the last time Congress declared war?
Probably after December 7, 1941.
Don't give me probably, sir.
Wait, hold on. So you're trying to tell me Vietnam was not a war?
Vietnam was a conflict. It was called the Vietnam conflict.
It's a war. It's a war.
I know. You want.
Let me give it to you straight.
You can mischaracterize everything you want.
It ain't got nothing to do with mischaracterization.
Yes, it is.
No, let me tell you why I'm saying that. If you look up the actual definition of the word war, it says nothing about Congress in it. That's some American shit. But an actual war is,
right.
Yeah, it's like saying, well, if you and I get in a fight and nobody declared it a fight, then it's not a fight. If we throwing punches, it's a fight.
I'm sorry to tell you this. The United States did not declare war on Vietnam.
Doesn't matter.
The United States did not declare. It doesn't matter to you because you.
Doesn't matter to the definition of what a war is.
So, hey, did Obama declare war on Libya?
It doesn't. The word war. Hold on. This is what I'm trying to get across to you. I don't think you understand.
I'm messing you up, Andy.
No, you're not. You're saying some crazy shit, and I'm trying to correct you. The word war has a definition to it. America does not get to change the definition of what that word means by saying, well, if our country don't declare it by Congress, then it's not a. The word has an actual definition that doesn't change per nation.
So Obama went to war then, and so Clinton went to war. Sir, you know what? You live in a world of, I don't know, what is it that you want? Okay?
I live in a world of accurate defining things accurately.
Accurate defining. Okay, so Bill Clinton was over there in Epstein Island. He was never mind. Anyway, what else did you want? What else did you want, bro?
No, you were in the request box, but yeah, I just want to say it one more time for folks who didn't hear it in the back. America does not get to determine what the definition of a word is.
Yes, they do.
No, you don't. The word war, alter ego. Is alter ego? Are you trying to come up?
Yes. Congress does, sir. Yes, Congress.
No, Congress don't change the definition of words.
Yes, they do, sir. For the United States, they do.
No, the United States don't change the definition of words. A word is a word.
When we was in Desert Storm, was that a war?
Yeah.
Why was we there? Was it Congress or was it the UN?
It doesn't. If you're firing military ordnance at each other, it's a war. It doesn't matter why you're there. It's a war once you start doing that.
That's your definition, because
that is. You want me to give you the? You want me to give you the actual definition?
So Afghanistan was a war.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. When did Congress fund it?
It got nothing to do with. I don't know why you keep the definition of war doesn't say anything about Congress.
It's amazing that you can support the definition of war when Congress says so, but when Congress doesn't say so, you say nah. It doesn't fit your definition.
So let me ask you.
The United States, in order to declare war on a country like Iran, Congress has to say we are giving a declaration of war.
So when we had a war on drugs, did Congress authorize that? War on poverty.
Congress actually did authorize certain things.
So Congress declared a war on drugs.
Yes, they did. President and Congress declared a war on drugs.
Okay, here's the AI overview definition. War is a state of armed, often prolonged conflict between nations, which means a conflict can be a war, by the way. War is often a state of armed, often prolonged conflict between nation states or factions, characterized by extreme violence, destruction, and military campaigns. Says nothing about Congress has to be involved in it.
For a long time, we had a Cold War. Was we at war with a Cold War?
Yeah, I mean it fits all of the shit here characterized by.
So wait a minute. We didn't throw no munitions at each other, but yet we called it the Cold War.
We actually did throw munitions.
When did we strike who? We struck who with where? With what?
What we did, you ever seen the Rock'em Sock'em robots as a kid where you hold the sticks and you make the bots fight each other?
So you're going to
I'm trying to answer your question. What we did during the Cold War is played a game of Rock'em Sock'em like the little robots. We didn't fight directly. We controlled the sticks of everything else that was fighting. So when Afghanistan and Russia were at a war, we helped the Afghanis. Like right now with Ukraine, we're helping the Ukrainians. Right now, they're helping the Iranians. We played Rock'em Sock'em. It's called a proxy war.
So we was at war. We was at actual war. But your definition said that we have to be throwing ammunition at each other.
You are.
You didn't say proxies. You said we, the United States, have to be throwing munitions at someone in order to call it a war. That's what you just said.
I'm just simply saying your definition of Congress. Let me ask you this: what happens? What happens to nations that don't have Congress? If a nation does not have, hold on. I'm asking you a question. Let me ask the question. If a country doesn't, if a country does not have Congress, is it impossible for them to go to war?
Yes, it is. Yes. Congress had to declare war, but I asked you was about Cold War.
You didn't answer. Wait. So countries without. I want to make sure I get clear. No, I want to make sure I get. This is my show. You do that on your show. Now it's mine this time. Now it's mine. So what you're saying is, if a country does not have Congress, let's say it's a dictatorship like Viktor Orban in Hungary or some shit, you're telling me because they don't have Congress, they can never be in war.
If they don't have Congress, then the dictator declares war. So once again, the Cold War was a war, huh? Right? That's what you said? That's amazing.
I don't know what to do other than laugh at this point.
All the Cold War veterans was actually at war. Even though nobody threw any. That's your definition. Go ahead, ask me something else, bro. Because
what you said is crazy, but
you didn't make it on that one. You're trying to convince Cold War veterans that it was at war. Trying to convince Cold War veterans that it was at war.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to convince that. But let me ask you: because Trump is talking about bombing the hell out of. Now I know you support the war or whatever you want to call it, conflict or whatever you're calling it. But do you support taking out the Iranians' infrastructure, like their fresh water supply, putting them in the dark? Do you support that?
Yep. They don't comply. Yep.
So the citizens ain't got nothing to do with it, though.
Well, hey, look here. Every country who's ran by dictators or by evil regimes, they are they are the victims of those who they are under. Just like the Taliban, just like Saddam Hussein, just like the evil Shermans. Everybody, the civilians are caught in between that. I don't know a conflict. I do not know a conflict in the world where civilians was caught in the middle. Can you name one?
So, based on what you're saying, no, I can't. No, I cannot.
Okay,
but based on what,
this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Okay, we're at 8 o'clock Eastern time. The lights are going to start to be turned off. All right.
And you support that.
Yes, I'm a United States Army combat veteran. I was an engineer. If it existed, we destroyed it. If it didn't exist, we built it.
What is a war crime? What is a war crime in your opinion? What is a war crime?
Well, depends on the definition of it.
I'm asking you.
What is a war crime?
Yeah.
What part?
I'm asking you, what is if you're bombing targets of civilian targets, is that a war crime? Deliberately bombing civilian targets.
I'm not in 11B. I'm not in 11B. I was I'm a heavy equipment engineer. No, yes, that goes against the Geneva Convention.
So destroying the fresh water supply of a country, that's not a war crime to you. War crime.
Nah, maybe so. I'm gonna tell you one thing. That's gonna be something that the JAG office is gonna have to solve, because he said, this is what Donald Trump said. He said he's going to take care of the plants. He's going to take care of the desalination plants. He's going to take care of the bridges. That constitutes a war crime. So I'm waiting to see.
But you said you agree with doing that.
Yes, I'm 1,000% agree with it. I wish I could put the uniform on and help them hold the charges while they do it. I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Why? Why do you want to do that?
Because this is FAFO time. This is FAFO time. I know that you've been sitting on your hands since the Jimmy Carter days, but I am ready for this. Hey, listen to me. You're talking to a person who, when a sniper pew-pewed at us, I called in a whole airstrike to take out the damn town. I don't give a damn. There's thousands of them like me. Hey, United States Army, United States Marine, 82nd, Recondo Rangers, everybody, do your job and kick names and take ass right now.
It sounds like, based on what you're saying, because you said innocent civilians get caught up, and it's unfortunate you happen to be under an evil dictator. He's responsible. Based on what you're saying, then you believe the victims on 9/11 were fair game. I mean, if they believed America was an evil infidel nation, innocent, as you say, innocent civilians get caught up in it. So you believe the victims on September 11th were, they were fair game, right?
In actuality, that's exactly what Iran and
I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
I'm giving you an answer. I'm giving you my answer. Okay, and I'm not going to change it. Those in the Middle East thought that those at 9/11 and those at the Pentagon was fair game. They struck at civilians, not at military. That's what they did.
And it sounds like you agree. You agree with that.
Look here, bro. Hey, if you're looking for compassion or empathy at this point, I am not.
Yeah, but I didn't get. I don't know if I got a clear answer from you. You went to them. I'm asking you, based on your definition, if the water treatment plants is fair game in war, then you personally believe that the Twin Towers were fair game in war, right? Not the folks in the middle of you.
Water treatment plants and bridges. Now we don't strike. Now we don't hijack airplanes and fly them into buildings.
No, we come with our own.
Yeah, huh?
We come with our own airplanes.
Yes, we come with our own
okay.
And we target buildings that are part of the infrastructure. Yeah, but we don't target places like schools and
Really? How did that happen? Didn't they lose a school?
They probably did. Yeah.
Probably lost the school.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, what's your point?
It got hit with a tomahawk, according to the footage.
Are you doing the investigation?
No, I'm doing the research is all over the internet. You didn't see the school getting bombed?
Is there an active investigation going on right now
By who?
by the United States military?
How? The United States military ain't even doing an investigation on Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good. They know what happened. They don't give a fuck.
We're not worried about them. That's not part of the discussion. We're not in Minnesota. We're talking about Iran.
Okay, so if America does an investigation, what do you think they're going to say? I mean, Trump already blamed it on the Iranians. He's already blamed it on them.
Trump. I didn't ask you about Trump. I asked you, are we doing an investigation?
No, we're not.
Okay, let's move on because you just lied right there. You just lied.
Nobody.
Why would you lie to make yourself sound right on this platform? You got plenty of viewers. Why would you lie, bro? Why?
You're telling me America is doing an investigation on how that school got bombed?
Yes, they are. They told you that they was. And you just said, and you
realize how much?
Wait a minute. On Mr. Denali's live, we told you the same thing, and you said that there's an investigation. And then you come over.
I didn't say that.
And say, bro, don't come, bro.
You said, wait, hold on. You said you said you know an investigation is happening because they told you. You know how many things this government has told? You know how many things this government told us the war will be over in 2 weeks?
Use your computer right now and look it up and see, is there...
I'm not even going to waste my hands typing the keys in. This government done told us all kinds of shit that ain't turned out to be true. They told you they investigating, and I guarantee you won't hear it. That investigation will never be concluded. They never going to come back to you on that investigation.
So let me ask you, did you believe that Bill Clinton didn't see nothing on Epstein Island?
I can't answer that.
Oh, you can't. With him and his Secret Service, they didn't see nothing. So you can wait a minute.
Yeah, you know something. I think they may have seen.
Understand. Hold on. Wait a minute. You can understand that there's not an investigation going on in Iran, but right here in the United States, when Bill Clinton gets up there and testifies and says that he didn't see nothing, all of a sudden you don't have an answer.
Well, you know, I think he may have seen Trump trying to get some head from a kid. I think he may have seen that.
So why didn't he say something?
He was trying to protect Trump.
So is he guilty?
If he didn't get the head.
So is he guilty?
Why are we talking?
Is he guilty?
I think they all fucking guilty.
Is he guilty of lying?
To be honest with you, I think they all fucking guilty.
So is he guilty? Why haven't you gone after him? You want to go after American servicemen or Trump for Iran? Why haven't you gone after him?
Okay, this is we've had a million conversations on Epstein. You're trying to deflect the Epstein. I'm not going to Epstein right now.
No. What I'm showing is that's what you got. See that? God got you. See, what I'm showing is that at one moment you have all the answers. You have all the answers when you're trying to go after a certain person, but when you come to one of your Democrats, all of a sudden you have no answer.
I don't even know where to go with this, Duke. But it's time to wrap this up. I think you crazy, but huh?
It's time for you to let me go because you're trying to hurt yourself and everything. Nah,
I don't know why my damn knee just popped like hell. It hurt like hell, bone on bone.
You know why? It's all them lies you telling, man. Stop lying, bro.
I think you voted for the dishonesty, but Duke, you're always welcome on the program. We don't agree on shit, but last word. Go ahead.
Let me ask you, did you believe Joe Biden when he said you're not black unless you vote for him? Did you believe Joe Biden when he said that?
As the Charlie Kirk supporters will say, you took it out of context.
I'm asking you, did you believe Joe Biden?
I believe the context of how he said it was accurate. It's like saying that's like literally saying, you're not from Chicago if you don't like the Bears. I mean, I think you took it out of context.
Until you voted for Joe Biden, you was what color?
I think you're taking that out of context.
It's always taken out of context.
Right.
If Trump would have said that, would it have been racist?
If Trump had said that, you would have been talking about it was just a joke.
If Trump would have said, you're not black unless you vote for me, would it have been racist?
He didn't say it. He said enough stuff that is far more racist than what you're trying to bring up.
Hey, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Get ready. Iran is going to FAFO. And you're going to see You're gonna see just like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Damn. Damn, Sodom and Gomorrah, there ain't no sex part. I gotta go. Duke, I gotta go.
Get my popcorn, and I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna wait. Go United States military. See you later.
All right, thank you for your service. That is crazy that he is actually gleeful about people being killed. Civilians. He is gleeful about the death. Let me just say this real quick, too. And tap the screen, get us on up to 90,000. We'll take the next caller. For my YouTube viewers, I need you to smash that like button. This is uncensored programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We are MAGA friendly. Been that way since day one. Always have been, always will be. Liberals are welcome on the program as well. We go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly. I do need you folks on TikTok, better yet on YouTube in particular, to smash that like button, if you will. We try to deliver entertaining programming. We're here most weekdays. If you favor this and you happen to be watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, follow the program. If you're watching us on YouTube, give your guy a sub. Something he said, I went through my damn monologue. I wanted to say something about what he said. Because he said so many things I disagree with, but I just find it really crazy that folks actually favor taking out civilians. I mean, what Trump is talking about doing is going to primarily affect civilians. What did he say? I'm going to bomb the shit out of the country or whatever. What was his actual quote? See if I have it here before I go to the next caller. Tap the like button. Get us on up to 90,000 on TikTok.
Or reopen the Strait of Hormuz, warning that all hell could break loose if it doesn't. And in case that message was not clear enough, he took to Truth Social today to post this message saying that Tuesday will be, quote, Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one in Iran. That is an open threat to strike Iran's critical infrastructure. But it doesn't end there. He went on to say, and I quote, open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Praise be to Allah. This comes after multiple deadline extensions, and despite Iran insisting there are no talks happening at all. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel has already destroyed 70% of Iran's steel production capacity, a key component in weapons manufacturing. Iran, for its part, is firing back with its own warnings.
I see the war crap. And I see Handsome Conservative says, now when Duke was on, my last guest, he said, I noticed there was no galaxies to challenge that man. Curious. Well, no, nobody wanted to challenge him. You are correct about that. Duke got away with one. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes maybe nobody felt that that Duke was worthy of challenging. Nobody didn't send any galaxies to challenge him. International law or rules of the jungle. Who sent I didn't see it. Somebody sent the galaxy? I did not see that. I did not see that. I do apologize greatly. Oh, alter ego. I asked you, are you saying, I even asked that. I saw that and asked you, are you saying you wanted to come up? I didn't see an answer from that. Because no, I didn't see anybody else sending galaxies. Oh, you say you sent it for Mike. I did not see that. Alter, I owe you one. I did not see that. I did not see you respond and say that. Because I saw some folks disagreeing with my last guest, but I didn't see that. Anyway, and thank you, Alter Ego. Someone who talks in that manner like Trump is a mad one because he didn't get what he wanted. To me, like I said, I believe what Trump is threatening to do is a war crime, but we'll see. And I do believe that may have something to do with why NATO is not so eager to get involved in that stuff. Takesha, boy. Good evening, Takesha. Welcome to the program.
Let me say this to him. What I find funny is he said God got you when you choke, but you up here excited about people taking lives that they did not create. Darth Vader, please shut up and go on about your business. Let me say this to him.
That's a good point. That's a real good point.
Let me say this to him, because I'm tired of you too.
What I do?
I'm not giving Trump no credit for that rescue. Trump ain't went over there. Trump ain't put no patches on the man. Trump ain't pulled the man up to where he can be hid. Trump ain't did nothing. Trump don't have no problem with spending money, so that was not impressive. He been spending money in the White House. He been spending money on himself. He keep going, all that costs a lot of money. So the fact that he used the money that's already in the military budget to go get the military man that didn't have to be there if it wasn't for him, that's not fucking impressive. Trump ain't did a damn thing. If Trump was like Zelensky fighting on the front line, I'd give his orange ass some credit, Zeus. I mean, Tim, but guess what? He ain't doing that.
Well,
I told him to put that ugly shirt and tie on today. He looked a mess. You had a Monday Easter egg hunt. Tell me Happy Easter. Easter was yesterday, Trump. I know you didn't remember. But check this out, Tim. You had the Easter egg hunt asking folks, do they think that Kamala and Biden could have got eggs cheaper than you did? What is the problem?
there is a small amount, perhaps, of derangement syndrome there towards his predecessor. Small amount. Listen. I'm going to agree with you that at some point, continuing to criticize Biden, now that we know the man got cancer and shit like that, if we want to suggest people who criticize Trump have Trump derangement syndrome, then that means he has Biden derangement syndrome. Biden's name should not be still coming up that often.
Every press conference, he bringing up Biden's. Leave that man alone. Biden ain't studying you. Why you keep bothering that man? Because you're jealous.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, I have no answer for him. State of the Union address. He's at world speeches. I mean, Biden's name keeps coming up.
Probably McDonald's saying, I bet Biden can't eat these fries better than I can.
He has said stuff like that. He has done stuff like that too.
Tim. It makes absolutely no sense. And they want to talk about it. Democrats got Biden, got Trump derangement syndrome, baby, bye. And another thing I want to tell you, Tim. You keep bringing up them 3 talking points when they say, what has Trump done? You go to the border. You go to the trans out of sports. You used to could say gas, but gas is up now. If you can't get no more talking points than that, he ain't did nothing, Tim. That's just like saying, ooh, that man know he can perform oral sex, but he ain't giving you nothing after that. What purpose is he serving, Tim?
Well, it's
just like saying, order the appetizer. Don't worry about the meal and the dessert. Well, Tim, if you can't come past them 3 points, shut up, okay?
No, shit. Listen, I agree with you because I give Trump credit where I think he deserves credit. But I do agree with you that outside of those things right now, there is not a lot to give him credit on. I mean, Rod, thank you for the head mustache.
You was already trying to change that other guest's mind and pull him over to the MAGA side. I'm starting to think, Tim, that
don't you say that. Don't you say that.
MAGA agent, Tim.
Wait, you think I'm a what?
Secret MAGA agent. I believe you trying to pull some folks over to the MAGA side. Tim, you're doing it daily. Tim, we starting to side eye you.
What is
get cross-eyed trying to see who you really are, Tim. Tim, you can't hypnotize me with that ugly hat.
What is this is a nice looking hat. It's quality.
Tim, that hat ain't hitting on 15.
I think this one was made in America too. Made in America.
Are you standing by what it say, Tim? Is he standing by what it say?
Depends on who you ask.
Make America great again. What is he doing for America?
He's making sure that we know everybody that's in this country.
LOSCR.
Huh?
LOSCR.
You sounded like Iranian. What have you been watching Iranian state TV now?
Anyway, Tim, listen, but seriously though.
He's not losing right now either. He's winning.
Yeah, for himself and his family. We not. I mean, you spent all that money. You said that man was proud. Conservative, handsome conservative. He said he's a conservative because it's God, man, woman, and then family values. But you be cussing so hard. So just leave that God out and just say family and family values. Just cut it out. Because you be cussing so bad. And I don't understand the people that say they are such conservative and they so God-fearing and God-loving, and they don't do nothing the Lord said, but just repeat what he said instead of doing what he said. That man costs more than a drunken sailor.
Yeah, I don't have any. I mean,
I'm just telling you. Stop trying to represent like that. Clean your mouth up, sir. Clean your mouth up.
Well, hold on, but does God speak against swearing?
Yeah, it's in the Bible. We're not supposed to swear.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I know you don't know the word.
I don't know the word. I'm not like Trump. I'm not. Hold on. I'm not like Trump. I'm not going to pretend like I know the word. I'll admit I don't know the word.
We're not supposed to curse. But I'm waiting on Fox News to talk about that shirt and tie Trump had on there, because that wasn't traditional. They had to fit by that suit.
It wasn't tan. It wasn't tan, so they're not going to.
And a tie that didn't go with it. Trump looked a mess. He looked like he ain't slept in 40 days and 40 nights.
Oh, you got to give him some credit. He was up. Hold on. Everybody thought the man was sick and was at Walter Reed. He was up all night long. Hold on. He was up all night long doing some patriotic shit, making sure our pilot was safe.
If you believe Trump was woke doing that, then you have lost. That man can't stay woke doing a sit-down press conference. The man was sitting in his chair, nodding like Rip Van Winkle while they was doing the operation. I still got to have proof. I don't care what the CIA said. I don't care what the NRA said. I don't care what Pete Express said with his drunken self. I don't believe. I got to have proof.
So you need proof that they actually rescued the pilot.
I need to talk to the pilot. I need him to come out, tell us what happened.
Oh, come on.
Tell us how he got rescued. Tell us how he survived. I believe nothing from this administration. When I say nothing, Tim, I mean absolutely nothing.
Well, you've inspired Snowbird7 in the comments to say, "Oh my God, lady, go have another drink." He disagrees with you.
First of all, Snowbird, I don't drink, sweetie. This a natural high. I take money though. My cash app's in my bio. How about that?
But Stacey says she's.
If you want me to drink, you can cash out me some money, and then I go pick up some Kool-Aid. But other than that, I don't drink, sweetie.
Well, Stacey says she's ignorant, and Snowbird responds by saying, "Ghetto is talking."
Well, let me say this, Stacey, you're ignorant, especially with a name like that.
Stacey? A woman named Stacey? What's so abnormal about that?
Stacey.
Really?
That's real ugly. That mean they didn't know if she was a girl or a boy. That's why she got that unisex name. So anyway, they ain't know if she was a girl or a boy because she got a unisex name. So they just, they couldn't figure it out.
Oh
so
my
they just
God.
They named it whatever. But anyway, I'm not ghetto, but I can get ghetto.
That was bad. It was funny, but it was bad.
I said she called me ignorant, and they couldn't tell what she was when she was born, so they gave her a unisex name to cover all the bases. Yeah. That's just how ignorant I am.
They can't.
And I got a restriction. I got a restriction back.
All right. They hating on you, Takesha. They hating on you.
Always, Tim.
That was funny, though. That was funny. Anyway, Takesha is gone. She drops. I'm coming out of the rabbit hole to let everybody know MAGA is paying the same amount for gas and groceries as the rest of us. Going back into the rabbit hole says Trump hatter. That ain't hater. That says Trump hatter. Well, you are right. MAGA is paying the same amount for gas and groceries as the rest of us. However, MAGA tends to believe that as opposed to our country under Biden, under Trump, the extra cost is worth it because they believe that what Trump is doing justifies the other cost. He's making decisions that are responsible for our nation that may come with a few extra costs in the economy or cost at the pump. Whereas Biden, the belief is he was making bad decisions that led to the economy and the price of gas going up. Just explaining it to you. I'm not saying I totally agree. I'm just explaining it to you. Looking in the comments, tap the screen, get us up to 110. No, it's not worth it, says, that says Judy. Yeah, just say Judy. Good evening, Judy. Thanks for the support. She says, no, it's not worth it. Stop justifying it. I'm not justifying it. I'm explaining it. I am explaining it. Looking in the comments, but everybody's paying different prices all over the United States, mostly super sky high in blue Looney Tunes places. Yeah, I think for the most part, the most expensive gas is in blue states. I know Florida can be a little costly at times, but I think you're right. Most of the more costly states are blue. But then again, I think the typical, what do you want to call it? The average income the citizens make is higher in blue states too. There's just, I mean, people make more money in blue states. I mean, it is what it is. But you are right. In blue states, I believe the taxes and the cost is higher. But everybody, and I see that in the comments, somebody stated that Black Baby Boy says everybody is paying, and that's true. Even if you live in red states, you might not be paying $5 or $6 a gallon, but you're still paying probably $1 to $1.50 more than what you were paying before Trump decided to attack Iran. So it doesn't matter if you were only paying $2 a gallon before this happened. Now you're paying $3.20, $3.30. It's still noticeable, no matter what you do, no matter how you play it. It's noticeable. It doesn't matter what part of the country you live in. If gas prices increase 50, 60% like they have, you're going to notice it no matter where the hell you live at. Thank you for the hat, mustache, shirt, and shirt 14. Supporting the program. I appreciate that, shirt 14. And I see somebody said $4.15 in West Virginia. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the union. That's high for them. They really are hurting in West Virginia. Not to mention they got mountains and hills every fucking where. They're really hurting paying that kind of money for gas in West Virginia. That is a very poor state. DJ Rad Dog. More money needed for their cousin Earl's road construction company. DJ, good evening.
What's up? You can call me Red, by the way.
What am I getting wrong here?
I just want to first say that my hat's off to you because you're the first show that I've seen that you allow people to come on and state their opinion.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I greatly appreciate it.
That's our core value here.
You get enough credit for that.
That's our core value here. Thank you.
And then the other main thing is I think a lot of people, when it comes to presidents in general, they forget that history taught us that they deal with the president's prior stuff. Prior presidents, and what I mean by this is like, say 4 presidents down the line put something into play.
So you're saying future presidents may be dealing with this, because a lot of people perceive what's going on in Iran right now to be a mess that was unnecessarily created. So you're saying future presidents may be dealing with what Trump has done in Iran.
Not necessarily Trump, but I mean, like, it could have been administration prior to. You know what I'm saying?
Explain.
Like, you don't really know until you really do your research and your homework on it. And then I learned this in history class when I was younger. So I don't really fault any president at that point for the issues that are currently going on.
Do you support the conflict in Iran right now? Do you believe Trump did the right thing?
Honestly, my opinion on that is that I don't think there's a right answer to war or any conflict for that matter if we're going both routes. Do I believe we should go in and carpet bomb them? No. Hands down, no.
Do you believe they should have been attacked a month ago?
Honestly, no. So but again, that's just my own personal belief.
So you believe what Trump is doing at the very least is an optional assault?
And no, I do want to address something that was just said. No, I'm not blaming Biden. I'm not blaming Biden at all. But what I'm saying is like, a lot of people don't take that in consideration. Can you re-ask your question too? I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, if we went back to the end of Biden's term, I mean, I suppose Netanyahu and some folks in this country thought Iran was developing a nuclear weapon. But let me ask: Did you feel that Iran may have been a danger to you?
Personally, myself?
Yeah.
No.
Danger to America?
Again, I would have to say no.
So you believe this was totally unnecessary then? You believe America's wrong?
Not saying that. No, I'm not saying that either.
If there's no danger to America, as you just admitted to, then why the hell did we attack them? For what reason?
Do I believe that they could come, say, hypothetically across the sea and attack us? No, I don't think so.
So I'm trying to figure out, based on what you're saying, then why do you hesitate to suggest that what Trump did to them is wrong? Then you're saying there's no danger, you didn't feel no threat from them, you don't feel they were going to come across the sea and attack us, yet we attacked them. Is that attack that we did on Iran, was it wrong?
I would say no. Again, it's hard for me to explain like my position on it because I have family in the military. But I mean, we have to do what we have to do to protect our United States.
But you just said you don't feel there was anything that was under threat.
As far as like, do I feel like they're gonna again come here to the United States and get us? No, I don't believe so.
You said they were not going to come here. You didn't feel your safety was in danger. You don't think they were a threat to the United States. So why did the United States attack them?
That part I don't know. I honestly cannot answer that. I have not done my research on that. I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out why you're so hesitant. Based on what you're saying, though, I'm just trying to figure out why you're so hesitant to not then say, I believe it's wrong. You don't have any reason to propel for why you think it was necessary. So why isn't it wrong then?
I don't agree with war in general. Like as far as like, it's again, and this is just my personal thing. Like I don't think that war is the answer to everything.
No, I agree with that, but you do believe sometimes war is necessary to act in self-defense.
Yes.
But
yes. Hands down, yes.
But if you attack and you're not defending yourself, which is what you're making it sound like, then is there any other reason to start a war if it's not in self-defense, in your opinion?
I could not answer that truthfully.
Is there any reason for you to personally punch somebody in the face if you're not doing it for self-defense of yourself or others?
No, hands down. Like if I was put in that type of situation, yeah.
So you can't think of any reason to punch yourself in the face if it's not in self-defense, but you're hesitating to say starting a complete war where you're killing hundreds of people if it's not in self-defense. I don't see how you're confusing me. That's what I'm saying. You're confusing
try to
me.
answer your question is I don't want to comment on it because I don't want to put out like my own opinion about something I don't know about. Like I haven't watched the news. I don't know what's going on. I tend to shy away from the news, to be honest.
Well, if you haven't watched the news, then why are you suggesting you don't think the war was necessary?
I'm not suggesting that it isn't or is, to be honest. I just don't agree with war in general.
Okay. How do you favor Trump as our commander-in-chief? Do you think he's doing a good job?
He's our president.
That ain't got nothing to do with what I just asked you. I didn't ask you who the president was. I asked you, I made it clear as our commander-in-chief. I kind of answered that for you. How do you think he's doing as president?
Personally, myself, I think he's doing okay. He's not doing great, but he's not doing bad.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. You seem to be a bit hesitant on some of these answers. What about the economy? Do you think he's giving us a better economy?
Again, going back on the belief that he's dealing with former president stuff, I think he's got a hard job ahead of him.
Does not every single president sworn in the office have a hard job ahead of them?
Oh yes.
Okay, so let's talk about him. Do you believe that the economy is in better shape under him than the last guy?
I think it's gotten a little more expensive. Like I would agree with a lot of people that have said this, as far as like your day-to-day living. But now, was it better under Biden?
He's the last guy. He's the last guy.
Yeah. Was it better under him? No. Was it better prior to him? No.
Okay, so
it's been kind of gradually over the last couple of years going higher.
So you don't believe Trump has improved? Because Trump promised to bring down prices on day one. So you don't believe he's met that promise?
Personally, myself, no.
Now, he also promised to end the Ukraine-Russian war in 24 hours. You don't believe he's met that promise?
I believe he could do it. Hands down.
Why hasn't he done it?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
So you think he promised to end the Russian-Ukraine war, could actually make it happen, and just chose for some reason not to do it?
There might be some reason. Like maybe he's talked with his intelligent people and, they've decided for whatever reason to prolong it. I don't know. I can't answer that.
The reason I'm asking you these questions because you said you think he's doing a good job. Could you elaborate on what's leading you to say that? You've admitted the economy hasn't gotten better. You've admitted that the war in the Russian-Ukraine war has not ended, and you don't know why. You believe he could, but he didn't do it, which was a campaign promise. You're admitting that the war with Iran, in your opinion, is likely optional, and Iran is you don't feel that they're a danger to the level where Trump is saying, but you did say he's doing a pretty good job. Can you elaborate on why you're saying that?
Well, I mean, he's been, trying to do his best at his job. He's been trying to, hear people out for the most part. And to me, it just... Are we talking like a participation trophy? He tried, No. Okay, give me something he's done. You're saying he's tried. People have died trying. That don't mean they succeeded. They just tried until they died. Give me something he actually has done to give me clarity on why you're saying he is doing a pretty good job. Well, he's, brought the employment somewhat leveled. It hasn't dropped, it hasn't went up. It's been kind of just staying at a level ground right now.
So it's similar to what he was when his predecessor was in office.
No, it's went up a little bit since then. I do know that. I've read up on that part. So yeah, I guess you could say he's done better in that department. But as far as to answer a question of what people have been asking in the chat, because I've been kind of watching, why did I come up here? I did also want to touch base, if I may, about the dating thing that you brought up earlier.
The dating thing?
Yes.
What did I say about dating?
You had said something about...
Oh, dating MAGA. Dating MAGA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think it should matter. I agree with you hands down on that. I think that you should give the relationship a chance because even though you may not see eye to eye, what happened to the old days of agreeing to disagree?
Well, what happened to agree and to disagree is the parties got much further apart. I mean, listen, for instance, if you believe that the Somalis are garbage, I mean, there's going to be people who don't believe that and would not want to date somebody that thinks an entire population of people are garbage. I mean, some of the rhetoric coming from Trump is significantly greater than anything you would have ever heard coming from Bush or Reagan or anybody. So that's where some of this is coming from.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I would.
So how do you feel when you say he's doing a pretty good job? How do you feel about rhetoric like that? Calling citizens, because a lot of the Somali population are actual citizens of the country, calling some of his own citizens garbage.
I don't agree with that. I don't. I've always been a person that tries to stay open-minded about everything. You know what I mean? So for me, it's you love everybody. I don't grasp the concept of this division that we've had over the years, of who you voted for, who you didn't vote for. I don't think it should matter.
No, I don't always think it should matter either, but if you believe that if I believe the person you voted for hates people like me, for instance, let's say it's Trump or let's say it's Biden or somebody or whatever the case may be, but if I think you actively voted for people that hate folks like me, you're saying that should not lead to me having any opinion about you?
No. And then maybe I'm misunderstanding your question. Maybe.
Let me clear it up. Let's go back during the civil rights era. You voted for somebody that believes in segregation, does not believe in civil rights. Should that affect my opinion of you?
Hands down, in your case, yes.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. So if he's saying that the Somali population is garbage, or he's demonizing whole populations by making statements like that, what's the difference between that and this?
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
I said if he's demonizing whole populations by making those type of statements that are incredibly degrading, you would understand that could lead some folks to have a really hardcore version towards him or anybody that's supporting him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's why it matters, is that his rhetoric has gotten significantly stronger and harsher than maybe presidents in the past.
I, again, would agree with you on that.
All right. Not to mention, you just also admitted you don't even believe a war is necessary. And here he is talking about bombing the infrastructure, which could actually hurt innocent civilians.
That's the part I don't agree with, the innocent civilians part.
Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out what makes you say he's doing a pretty good job, though. You're admitting quite a bit of things that are critical of him, but you're saying he's doing a pretty good job.
I mean, again,
why did you vote for Trump?
Personally, no, I did not.
You vote for Kamala Harris?
No, I voted for the underdog.
Which is who?
At the time, I don't remember who it was, but I just know it was like somebody that was.
You don't even know who you voted for a year ago?
No.
Did you vote for Trump? Trump versus Biden in 2020. Did you vote for Trump?
No.
Did you vote for Biden?
I did not vote that year, actually, to be honest.
Trump versus Hillary Clinton in 2016. Did you vote for Trump?
No.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
Again, did not vote that year.
Okay. I just wanted to find out. All right.
To answer your question, the reason why I didn't vote, because I couldn't pick between the two of them.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'll leave it at that. I'll go ahead and move on. I appreciate you coming through. Anytime, DJ. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate it.
You have a good night.
You too. All right, tap the screen. Get the likes up to 130. This is uncensored programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. You guys know how the program is ran. Help you. Somebody said, Snowbird said that was crazy. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 130. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. That's why you're going to hear conversations of all types on the program. You can be critical of anybody here. This is uncensored free speech. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap and that mustache. Who else opinion would you, what does it say there? Thank God these people need to fix their spines. This shit is embarrassing. Who said that? Say, what does that say? Hey, what's that? Okay, I'm just, my job is to be the host, take the calls, and have a nice conversation with the people. It's up to you to judge them. It's up to you to judge them. I voted for Ronald Reagan because I didn't want to vote for Trump nor Kamala. You guys are being mean. Be nice now. You are excellent when you question people and probe every angle of their insanity. Thank you very much for what you do. I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to probe. This isn't a suppository program, but thank you for supporting the show and your input. I'm tired of these people who can't form a fucking opinion on their own. Man, the comment section is brutal. Brutal. Not brutal. French. Brutal. B-R-U-T-A-L-E apostrophe E, brutal. He voted for a ghost. I'm having a hard time taking the next caller if I'm laughing. You guys got to let me get a straight face here. And Takesha said, I'm still laughing at I got a violation. Yeah, somebody was hating on you. God. Trump hasn't created one job, fired a lot of people, fired a motherfucker the other day. They found out. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Biden had like the lowest unemployment in history. All right, let me go back. Rod is the greatest since he was terrible. You guys be nice to my guests. Folks come up here to get listen, it's an entertaining program, hopefully. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap, hat, and mustache. Go. Travelman. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Said a million words with zero. You guys are still going on. Travelman. Good evening. What brings you up? I got to get a straight face. I can't even question you because I'm still laughing. Travelman, good evening.
Sam, how you doing, man?
I don't know right now. They got my cheeks hurting.
Some of these people that you've had up today has been absolutely amazing. Starting with Duke Vader, and all that other stuff you had going on. I'm not going to even comment on the last guy that was up.
Well, let me just say this. I have, for today's sake, deliberately tried to bring up new callers because we want to get a rotation going. I'm always looking for MAGA in there as well. So I deliberately tried to bring up new guests. Apparently, it's not going as well as I thought, but it is what it is. This is what we do here. We believe in uncensored free speech. So President Trump saved a pilot. Does he get credit? He ordered literally all expense paid, do whatever it got to take, whatever it was required, bring our guy home. Do you give him credit for doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like any other president that was in office that was done. When Clinton was in office and they did the guy over in Bosnia. What was that? I think they made a movie Behind Enemy Lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
London at the time.
Behind Enemy Lines, they were being met with resistance from NATO. I think Gene Hackman was trying to send troops in, and NATO was giving them, or UN, or whoever the guys. But anyway, what about Hillary Clinton with Benghazi? Wasn't that a story of we did not send in? What was it? Ambassador Stevens was killed in that.
That was. I mean, once again, I'm a firm believer, Tim, that nobody's perfect and anything man-made, things can happen. There was a breakdown during Benghazi. She sat in front of Congress for 12 hours and answered it. Actually made them look pretty stupid, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she stood in front of that for 12 hours and she went through the storm and she answered all the questions. So I'm not a big HRC fan. I respect her. Her skill set, her political skill set, I respect that. I respect the fact that this woman has been investigated since 1992, going back to Whitewater.
Do you think she would have been a better president than Trump, though?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well,
she's a political animal, bro. She ran a bad campaign. That's for sure. And there's a couple of things that happened during that campaign. There's a couple of things that happened that prevented her from winning. But yeah, she, when I'm not gonna get into things with the Mango Maniac. He's actually proving your question right now. Look at what he did yesterday on Christmas.
What are you talking about? Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards.
That's the president of the United States, Tim. That is the president of the United States that have hopped his ass into something that he can't get out of. Iran today rejected the latest ceasefire.
I don't see why we expect Iran to. I mean, listen, you've killed their entire government. You've blown up a bunch of shit. You've made jokes about it. And we're pretty much just offering them, open up the strait, or we're going to just keep killing you. If you believe that they're trying to get a nuclear bomb and they don't care about dying and shit, then why don't people keep thinking that, well, if we keep bombing them, they'll submit? If you either believe they don't care about dying or you do. If you believe they're suicidal, then you should understand the bombing ain't going to stop it. To me, the language in that doesn't make sense to me.
Anybody that know Iran or have read anything about Iran, have been following what's going on over there in the last 50 years, as we discussed the other day, they should know Iran do not give up. They didn't give up when Iran, Iraq, WAR, it was over 1 million people got killed. They did not give up. They do not give up. We have stepped off in it, and I don't care when 9/11 was an act of war, right? They consider that act of war.
Yep.
When we went in there and started dropping them bombs in there, what is that considered?
Act of war.
Act of war.
Well, you heard Duke said that what we're dealing with right now is a conflict. It's not a war.
Duke, once again, he's one of those guys with a serious case of head up Trump's ass syndrome. And I have actually told him that on his live. Okay? He's another one that needs to get down to urgent care and get that spinal muscle removal procedure done. Because he's way up in there. Okay? He was in the Army. Let me tell you something. He ain't under no airstrike that wiped out a whole damn town. Okay?
Yeah, he did say that. It sounded like he was quite happy about it.
He didn't do it. My son-in-law was a combat engineer. He was over in Fallujah and all that other stuff going on over there at that time. And also, you don't wipe. He may have called one in that did significant damage. Yes, but it didn't wipe out a whole damn town. Okay, that's one of them Trump tales.
No, you got a hater for real. You ain't said shit. Real quick in the comments, I see Mr. G says MAGA and Trump ain't shit. Fighting for LGBTQ in Iran. Is that right? I haven't heard that.
Well, I don't get into all that bullshit.
I haven't heard that.
You need me to drop down?
No, we good for a minute. We're good for a minute, but you got a few haters in there. You do got a few haters.
So we stepped off, man. And now he's talking about going in and doing the bridges and the water. And what did Iran say? Do you remember what they said, Tim? I'll tell you what they said. Iran said
they're gonna bomb their neighbors.
We going after the Gulf states desalinization. Yeah. And the other night we talked about this, and like they said, if you hit Riyadh, they're gonna have to evacuate Riyadh. If they take out some in the UAE, they're gonna have to evacuate Dubai. A lot of people don't know about Fujairah, but it's down there, I think, on the Red Sea. I've been down there for Fujairah. I haven't been to Dubai. They would have to evacuate that place because these places get 70 to 90% of their water through the desalinization plants.
So what happens? I mean, like this shit has to end eventually. I mean, does Iran give in? Does America? I mean, like eventually somebody's got to give up.
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know, bro. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know. Because I don't... Do it seem like Iran is getting ready to give up? No.
I don't see what they got to give up for. Trump is talking about we want to control the Strait of Hormuz. So what you kill the head, you kill most of their government, you destroy a bunch of their country, kill hundreds, if not thousands of their citizens. And they just, I mean, the only way I can see Iran giving up is you got to really wipe them out. I mean, it's going to be a lot more killing. That's the only way I can see it happening.
And one of the other guys, somebody else in there, he's correct. UAE has already talked about getting involved if they keep hitting them. But we've already lost the Fifth Fleet headquarters. Okay.
Yeah, but does the UAE and these other countries, do they have any military of any significance at all?
Yeah, they do. Their pilots actually train over here in the U.S. Everybody talk about Qatar training. Their pilots training over here. Saudi pilots, Taiwanese pilots. They all train over here because they're buying U.S. fighter jets. So they all train. They all have areas set up on. I don't know the bases. They all, maybe not to the extent that Qatar did, but they all have training areas. They all train U.S. That's why I say China would overwhelm Taiwan. Yes, they would. But Taiwan has probably some of the most advanced weapon systems besides the U.S. and Israel, or U.S. weapon systems anyway. So they would take Taiwan down, but Taiwan could also,
at this point, now that we don't see what both the Ukraine and Iran has done, low tech might be the shit right now. Just make a bunch of them little 30cc drones and just tear Taiwan to pieces. I mean, if you got a few thousand of them coming at the Taiwanese island at the same time,
yeah.
I mean, you can wreak havoc on them.
How do we know? I would imagine Taiwan probably got drones also, because everybody's on it now. But for this right here, Tim, right quick, let me tell you this right quick. This is for your MAGA-ites, okay, who seem to
MAGA-ites.
That seem to think that that NATO cannot survive if the U.S. pull out of it. If the U.S. pulls out of NATO, it will probably get stronger. Okay?
I said the same thing. I actually think it would be better for NATO because they would get a lot more autonomy.
Check this out. We have not provided support to Ukraine since Trump came into office. And right, so most of it, all of it is most of the 90% of the stuff that Ukraine gets is coming through the European Union and NATO. Yep. Some of it might be coming from the States, and they said, but a lot of it is coming from there. What a lot of people don't realize is that Sweden, Finland, some of those other NATO countries, they have very robust defense industry. They make some hellified jets and tanks and stuff. Okay,
German engineering ain't bad either. I mean,
German engineering, and then they talking about rebuilding their military. And Ukraine right now is knee deep in Russia's ass. They're actually taking their land back. And then Trump said NATO is, what did he say? NATO is weak something. And he say this because that's what Putin told him. Wow. You can't fix stupid. Okay? You cannot fix stupid.
Well,
if you don't think there's something wrong with this man, look at what he's been saying over the last couple of weeks.
Well, I think perhaps maybe he is allying himself with the wrong people like Viktor Orban and Putin and some of these folks. But yeah, I agree 100% that NATO is nowhere near as weak as Trump and folks on the right believe. I mean, first of all, they got a ton of money over there. So with money can come equipment, can come weapons and things like that. And like you said, there are plenty of countries over there that have pretty good engineering in itself anyway. And as I pointed out with one of my other previous guests, even if America did leave NATO altogether, we still do not want Russia becoming a powerhouse in that hemisphere. So we have literally been on the other side of every conflict Russia has been involved in. Going all the way back to the Berlin airdrop. When they were fighting the Afghanis, we were on the Afghani side. They're fighting Ukraine, we were on the Ukrainian side. So even if we got out of NATO and Russia threatened the NATO member nations, we would still back them up even if we're not a member of NATO. The Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We immediately backed them up. Like I said, Afghanistan wasn't a member of NATO. We immediately backed them up. So we're not going to let our French and English and Italian brothers and sisters go down to Russia and we help the Afghanis. So they would still get help from us whether we're a member or not.
Yeah. I mean, but see, these are people, once again, they got, they like to say, if you criticize Trump, you got Trump derangement syndrome. But when you really think about it, these people could be having a dual malady going on, because the people that follow him like that, because they anything that he say, they twist themselves into a pretzel, or they always trying to explain what he really meant. So those are the people that are not only Trump. Let's check this out, bro. Not only do they have head up Trump's ass syndrome, but they also got a case of TDS. That's dual. That shit could be fatal. That shit could be fatal.
Real quick.
But listen to some of the shit they say when they come up here. Listen to damn conservative. What was he? The handsome conservative.
Yes.
The other guy, the one
Straight Talk Commerce,
howling and screaming and shit. That don't want. He drop down every time somebody challenges him. Listen to all of them, Tim. But you know what though? Let's take a look at something right quick before I go, because they always talk about, people love to say, well, this is what I voted for. Okay, so you voted for, I don't know, half the 373 grants that were terminated that dealt with community safety, arts and stuff like that. You voted for federal funding. They cut over half the community violence programs. I mean, these are things that they're cutting. And to top it all off, we have the highest outbreak of measles in the last year than we've had in years. All this stuff, see, we concentrating on Iran, we concentrating on Epstein, on the E-files, we concentrating on this. Meanwhile, this dude is rolling back clean water, okay, which was put in back in the 70s. And if anybody remember the 70s, the water in the United States was terrible, okay? He dismantled the damn EV.
Why do you think he would do something like that? And before you answer that, Howard Hunter, interesting guest, says, let's be honest, we here in Europe have relied on Americans too much. That is now over. I wish I could disagree with you. That is 100% true, and I don't think that's going to work out well for us in America. But you are right.
But
you are right. Go ahead.
We were the ones that was feeding that, though.
Yeah.
That's a carryover from World War II and the Marshall Plan. All right. So yeah, I happen to be, I was in London for 4 years. I went over there right when they were doing the drawdown and stuff. So yeah, that is correct. But the stuff that we're seeing right now, that we're countering all this other stuff. Meanwhile, if you go down there and take a look, man, these dudes are, man, they doing some serious. They are rolling back some serious programs. I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
Why do you think they're doing that though?
Because you know what, I'm not a Trump fan, but I tell you this: Trump he's a nasty human being. He is a wasted hunk of protoplasm. Okay, I don't hate the man. I don't hate him.
How could you say all that shit and then say, I don't want them around me. I don't think they should live in my neighborhoods. I think we should segregate. But I don't hate them though.
I don't. Now I have a strong dislike for him. I don't use hate because that is a very, very strong word, and I don't hate anybody.
I'm hearing nothing but synonyms.
I have a strong dislike for him.
Strong dislike
because of things that he does and things that he says. So yeah, I mean, come on, man. And these people, they sit there and they listen to him. And you know what? Before we go, back during the campaign, they were always talking about, Kamala, man, every time they ask a question, all you get is word salad. Have you ever heard Trump answer a damn question?
He's answered some questions, but he does have a lot of word salad. He answered some questions. Some of his.
Come on, Tim. The lady asked him about child care. Did you see the answer on that child care when it was a panel?
Yeah, I got the video queued up. Yeah, I know he said that we fighting wars and shit. We can't do it.
And then, did you also hear what he was talking about damn electric boats and getting eaten by sharks and shit? You got a choice to make.
Sometimes he go, that's crazy shit. Yeah, that's crazy shit.
Don't no rational person talk like that. These are the things that he's saying and he's doing. And then these people turn around, he's firing shit off at 1:00 in the morning, man. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah, I think to me, when you start saying open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, that's when you start looking like you demented. That is what my beloved MAGA, when you get on their programs and you talk like that, they refer to that as crashing out. You're having that language, open the straight, you fucking crazy. That is crashing out. I mean, perhaps he saw some numbers. Perhaps some economists and some financial analysts called and told him what will happen if the strait doesn't open in a few days. Something made him crash out.
Well, that was stupid. First of all, it was stupid on his part because they thinking that that Iran was going to capitulate before they had a chance to close the strait. Okay, now this dude went to Wharton and he supposedly went to the best schools and shit, but he's pretty dang. He's operating in an area of stupidity right now because things that he's saying and doing just doesn't make sense. And then you got damn Patron Pete firing damn generals and shit in the middle of a war.
Yeah, I don't get that. Well,
and you know what? And they like to talk this crazy shit. Oh yeah, we operating on meritocracy. Nobody in those positions got there through meritocracy. Even the freaking Joint Chief of Staff is not there through meritocracy.
Well, I'll say this. Let's say we have some serious civil unrest in this country. I don't know, let's say after the midterms or something like that. Wouldn't it be, if you were president and the country was having just clashing against each other, wouldn't it be beneficial to you as commander-in-chief to have a very loyal head of the military, and now the military can carry their own pistols and stuff? Wouldn't that be beneficial?
Yeah, for if you got the general staff up there, but you're not gonna have all of them. Everybody up there, all the generals are not gonna be MAGA. Okay.
No, but you want as many of them as possible because then you can start. Because a lot of folks. A lot of folks may, because you have to follow orders, there are going to be plenty of folks in the military that may actually do stuff they don't want to do or that they feel and know is wrong because they don't know how to choose between not following their legal order and doing what's right. They're not for certain. So
well, I can tell you, go ahead.
No, I'm just simply saying, if you got a whole bunch of very loyal generals, it'll help you get your plan across a little easier.
You can have all the generals you want, but if the people in the lower ranks say, "Oh no, this is bullshit," Okay, you for number one, most people in the military, I would venture to say pretty much everybody in the military know that it is against the law to deploy the military on U.S. streets. That's number one. Number two, you got a lot of guys in the military that's between 18 to 25, or I'd even go all the way up to, even some of the senior enlisted guys. They took the oath to the Constitution. They didn't take an oath to the damn president of the United States.
I hear
and I'm going to tell you right now, Tim, if people think that the military is going to turn on U.S. citizens, I don't know about that one now. They might be in for a surprise. I have to disagree with you on that because they would look at it as an unlawful order.
I want you. I'm just going to say this, just in case that moment comes up. I want you to be right. I got to move it on travel, man, but I want you to be right on that. I'm not certain at this point because I've seen the military deployed in the U.S. cities, and what came out of ICE is nothing short of tyrannical. So I'm hoping you're right. That's all I'm going to say. Because if you can convince the military to behave like ICE, I think he's halfway there.
You're not going to convince Marines with their high honor and ethics. You're not going to convince them to attack U.S. citizens. I was in the Marine Corps. I also was in the Navy. And it's 20 years. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I was ain't nowhere in the Sam hell, we would have did that.
Fair enough. And I hope that mindset continues. Travelman, thanks for coming through.
All right, bro. Take care, man.
Appreciate it. I guarantee you ain't going to like the answer, says William. Yeah, I'm hoping he's right. He's military. I'm not. I want him to be right. I want to have every thought in my head to be completely wrong. I want him to be 100% right. Troops are happy now. Really? Keith? You're saying troops are happy? Troops are happy we're at war? You think so? Why would they be happy? Why would you be? I mean, look, they get paid extra combat pay or whatever. Why would you be happy being sitting in harm's way? That's an interesting statement. Trump said the gays are being thrown off buildings, says Mr. G. Now I get what you're saying. Trump doesn't care about that. Look, I've said it a million times. I don't think Trump or MAGA cares anything at all about the plight of Iranian citizens. I think what is happening is Trump is using the plight of Iranian citizens to tug at folks' heartstrings so that folks are okay with him going over there and dealing with the Ayatollah or the government of Iran. But at the end of it, I don't think he cares. I don't think he gives a shit about the Iranian people. How many times do I have to say this? If any Iranians find their way to America and tell the American government our country is just as bad as what you guys are saying on TV, we want to request asylum, the Trump administration wouldn't even let them stay here. They would send them right back into that mix. Same thing they're doing to the Cubans, the Haitians, and a whole bunch of... They're sending Afghanis back to Afghanistan. So I don't think there's any evidence to suggest that Trump cares any damn thing at all about these citizens of any oppressed population, other than maybe the white South Afrikaners who were allegedly victims of genocide and all decided they want to go back home for some reason. Other than that, I don't believe that Trump cares anything about that. Tim is trying to scare the stupid liberals. Is that what I'm doing, Robert? Iranians throwing gays off buildings is true. Hell, they would throw any of us Americans off a building if they had a chance. I'm not saying it's not true, Zach. I'm saying that Trump administration don't care about that. Listen, Trump is friends with the Saudis. You think that they're cool with being gay in Saudi Arabia? He's friends with a lot of countries that are anti-LGBTQ. So all of a sudden you're going to bring up Iran? I don't even think you can legally be gay in Saudi Arabia. So I don't think Trump cares anything about the citizens of what I'm saying. Trump didn't care about young U.S. soldiers. Damn. Straight talk? Good evening.
I nearly choked on my Diet Coke when your last guest said he can't or you can't fix stupid. He's living proof that you can't fix stupid.
What did that honorable veteran say that sounded stupid to you?
Honorable veteran Warren.
Yes.
That is about the only. Listen, he never says anything that makes sense. Never. He never makes sense.
And Danny didn't think so. That had a mustache. Give me an example of something he said that I didn't hear anything wrong with what he said. What did he say that didn't make sense?
Everything that he said about NATO, everything he said about troops in the United States. Do you know how often we use U.S. troops in the United States? We used them during Hurricane Katrina. Every time there's a national disaster, every time there's an uprising somewhere, we use National Guard and American troops. But, I mean, where do you guys get some of your information?
Well, here's
those pilots. Hold on. Those pilots that train in Wyoming and in Utah, they have to train there. That's part of the agreement we make when we sell them their planes. And you guys complained about that a few months ago. I was arguing with a bunch of you knuckleheads a few months ago about why we would bring them here to train. It's a very simple thing. I mean, you guys have the retention of a gnat.
I think there's a couple of things here. First of all, when you send troops in for national disasters, the people don't get the belief that
here we go.
you asked for them. I'll just say this real quick before we make this happen. When you send troops in for national disasters, and you're right, they do send in the Guard and stuff like that for hurricanes and stuff like that. It's generally meant to help the population. It's not meant to be disciplinarians or...
Why do they send them in? You say that they're there to help. Why do they send them in? What do they do to help?
Sometimes they may be putting up sandbags and shit. Rescuing people.
And do they prevent looting?
Yeah, they prevent looting, yeah.
Would they probably prevent looting? Okay, do those American citizens, are those American citizens that are looting? They help with law enforcement, just like they would with illegal aliens that happen to be here.
Yeah, well, let me give you another example. Usually when you send in the military after a national disaster, like you're pointing out, the citizens of that town usually want them there. When Trump is sending them in, they don't want...
By the way, there are citizens in this country that want them, working in the country right now. I'm one of them. If they can help us rid this country of anyone here illegally, I'm all for it. And I'm a citizen, been here my entire life.
Well, I'm just going to... In Travelman, I don't see you in here. I've seen the request, but I don't see you in the request box. I'll just say it like this. Most Americans...
He paid his money. Let him come take his chance.
Right. I'll just say this. Most Americans in those cities do not... Because Trump is, first of all, criticizing the city, criticizing their politics, criticizing the mayor, criticizing the governor. They don't want him there. They don't... Most of the citizens...
Unlike a Democratic president, he's willing to actually put his money where his mouth is.
No, he's not. Bullshit.
Of course, he's gone
hold
to
on.
Memphis. He's gone into different cities and helped them.
Trump is sending people into cities that for the most part, that he has an issue with the administration, people he don't like. When he sent the military...
No. Why doesn't he like them, Tim? The reason he doesn't like them is because they have high murder rates, plenty of illegal aliens there. He doesn't like that. It has nothing to do with whether he likes...
I tell you something.
The administration, of course he does.
What he did to Minnesota is unjustified. Whether we're talking illegal immigrants, let me respond. Whether we're talking illegal immigrants, whether we're talking crime, Minnesota is not at the top of the list in either one of those things. He didn't like Tim Walz. He didn't like the government of that area. That's why he did that. Minnesota ain't, in terms of violent cities.
And that is a wonderful opinion. And that is not I don't share your opinion.
Okay.
I think that they were struggling very mightily with the amount of people that came here illegally in their population.
Yeah.
And they were very grateful for the reduction in crime and the reduction in Memphis, lots of places that we send people.
They were not grateful for anything Trump did in Minnesota. Travelman.
Half of the population of those areas were.
Okay, he wants to rebut. Travelman, good evening. Welcome back.
All right. First of all, the troops that go in after a natural disaster, hurricane, or anything like that, those are National Guard troops that are brought up by the governor of the state. They're not there today. Military cannot perform law enforcement duties domestically.
National Guard is the military. Shut the fuck up. Okay. You're gonna tell me that you did not train alongside National Guardists. You didn't go to war alongside National Guardists. You're gonna tell me that the National Guard is completely separate from the military. Is that your answer?
Did I say that?
You need to get some pudding and sit in front of the TV, okay?
Did I say that? The National
Sounds like
Guard,
you did.
the National Guard falls under the governor for each state. And when there is a disaster, the National Guard can call up, the governor can call up the National Guard. Is that right? Is that wrong?
That's totally true. That's one of their missions. That's true.
Okay, they're not there to, they are there to.
Who is the commander-in-chief of the National Guard?
The National Guard falls under the governor.
And
And then who? And then who?
Well,
who's the commander-in-chief?
We're not talking about then who. We're talking about the National Guard is under the command of the damn governor.
Then why would the governors of this country send troops, National Guard troops, to Kuwait, to Desert Storm? I mean, come on now. They're part of the army. They're part of
the National Guard. When they deploy like that, they are brought on active duty. You know that, dude.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Then they fall under the command of the commander-in-chief.
That's right.
When they are not on active duty, they fall under the command of the governor of the state, with the exception of Washington, D.C.
We performed, while I was in 8th Engineers, we performed duties for the citizens around Central Texas a number of times. So we did domestic jobs all the time. I was active duty Army. We did them a lot. I did it in Germany when I was in Germany. So we do civilian type activities all the time.
The only way the National Guard, they have to be federalized if they fall up under the president. They operate by the state governor is the commander-in-chief of their particular National Guard. Now, they do have a dual mission. They do operate under state and federal, but that's based on whether or not they're activated. If they're not activated, they're under the governor. If they're
that's what I'm saying. We get into the president at any time could activate those troops and use them any way you wanted.
Move on, dude. Because obviously you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, you paid your money. I didn't pay anything. You paid your money. Is that what
else you got? What else was that bullshit you were saying? You saying everything I said was wrong?
Why were those pilots being trained in Wyoming and Utah?
Dude, Tim.
Why?
I'm just the host.
I say that we train pilots all the time.
Yeah.
Taiwan and all those
why did they train here?
They bought U.S. equipment and we trained them and they have an agreement.
Yeah,
I
that's
said
right.
Dude.
Part of the agreement is that they train here, not take the planes home.
Obviously, you wasn't listening. That's what I said.
No, I did listen. I heard you.
Did I not say that they're trained in the U.S., that Qatar wasn't the only ones, that we've been training pilots all the time? Didn't I say that?
Yeah, I'll just say this, straight talk. You made it sound like he didn't know what. I mean, he's right. I mean, I don't hear anything he said that was wrong. What did he get wrong? Now that you got him on here, I'm not hearing anything you're pointing out that he said was wrong.
He's sitting there saying that we're training the pilots. We have to train those pilots. It's part of the agreement. We train those pilots. When they buy a plane from us, we must train them. They are trained in the United States to use those planes.
Okay, straight.
We don't ever sell them our top of the line equipment either. They are there. That's why you have F-18As and F-18Is and all of these different monikers for planes is because we sell to those countries lesser aircraft than we have for ourselves.
Isn't that what I said? I said that.
I did not hear you say that. I didn't hear you say any of that.
I used Taiwan as an example. I said behind the United States and Israel, Taiwan probably has the most advanced weapon systems. That's what I said.
Wait, I'm sorry, that again?
I said behind the United States and Israel, Taiwan probably has the most advanced weapon systems that they have bought from us. That's what I said. So maybe you need to take that. Maybe you got some Army Green shit in your ears and you can't listen real well. But so far you haven't. I
didn't argue that at all. And by the way, we pay 90% of NATO. If we left NATO and stopped paying into NATO, they would all have to divvy up how much they spend. They would be nothing. 10% is what the EU is paying into NATO.
Where you get that from?
Yeah, where are you getting that from?
Hold on one second. I'll bring it up and read it directly to you. I read this yesterday the other day.
Yeah, that never. I mean, I'm under the impression they all have to pay a certain percentage of their GDP.
$1.6 trillion on NATO.
To what I'm saying, the U.S. contributes roughly 16% of NATO's direct annual budget. However, we pay $753 million in 2024. Now we have indirect contributions that we do also. Okay, and that was about
1.6, which is double. It's actually 980 billion, and in both sides, it's 1.6 trillion. So we spend 1.6 trillion of our budget on NATO.
U.S. defense spending represent about 60 to 62% of the total defense spending of all NATO countries. NATO countries used to have a 2% target, and of course, a lot of them wasn't making that 2%. But then when Trump came in, he did get them up to.
Wait, hold on. 2% of what, though, Trevor?
He did get them up to start reaching the 2%. Then he raised it to 5%.
2% of what?
GDP.
2% of their GDP for their
GDP. Hold on.
That's what I said.
I'm going to make a point here.
Don't matter. It's going to be wrong anyway. Go ahead.
2% of their GDP, right? And their GDP is far, far less than the United States GDP, isn't it? We pay way more than and they weren't even making their targets. They were only making 2%.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on.
They were only supposed to be making 2% of their GDP. They have very tiny GDPs compared to the United States.
Not collectively. No, not collectively, they don't.
Most of them were not meeting the target, and then Trump did get some of them to commit to making the 2%, and they were trying to do that. And then the target was raised to 5%.
Yeah, that's a target. Most of them haven't made the 5%. And that's my point. You're making my point for me.
I'm not making your point, dude. If they
yes, you are. Because you're saying to everybody listening that
2 minutes.
The EU is not fulfilling their end of the bargain, which was minuscule compared to what the United States was paying.
Okay, so you're saying that if the U.S. pull out of NATO, that NATO will collapse?
I'm saying that they're going, well, the two things would happen.
That's what you said.
No, I did not. I said two things would happen. Either they would be forced to all chip in and pay their share. That's one thing that could happen. Or the other thing that could happen, they would be absolutely broke. How would they not collapse?
Well, right now they're providing a lot to Ukraine, and Ukraine is kicking off in Russia's ass. And we haven't really directly contributed to funding. We haven't directly provided funding to Ukraine since Trump came into office. Yeah. And the only time Russia started making.
What happened?
The only time Russia started making progress against Ukraine was when the Republicans withheld the funding for 6 months on that crazy ass budget bill that they couldn't pass. And they was over there counting bullets and shit.
We should not be paying any money toward Ukraine. We should not be paying any money.
Why not?
I don't understand. You guys don't want to fund a direct threat to the United States. You don't want us in war with Iran, a direct threat to the United States, but you want to fund Ukraine. Russia's not a direct threat to the United States. So, I mean, you make that make sense to me.
All right, Travelman, I'll give you the last word. Time is up. Go ahead, Travelman.
No, Russia is not a direct threat to the United States, but you know, just like I do, that they will not stop at Ukraine.
Right.
They will continue on to the Baltic states, and somewhere along the line, you may have to call U.S. troops up to go over there because we're being another war, and when they attack a NATO country, Article 5 comes into play, just like it did when they came and supported us.
Not if we're not in NATO.
Afghanistan.
Not if we're not in NATO.
All right, Travelman, thank you.
Crazy talk. I'm done.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Travelman. Thank you. And I will. I meant to get. I had a few more minutes with Straight Talk, but I dropped him by mistake. But my point is this: I still think Russia's a greater enemy to the United States than Russia. I mean, than Iran is. But I think I believe MAGA sees Iran as a greater enemy than I think MAGA sees Iran as a greater enemy than Russia. And I think that's backwards. I agree with Travelman. I agree with the European Union that Russia would not stop at the Ukraine. I believe they would continue further. And I believe America has a greater interest in preventing Russia from becoming a superpower again than Iran. But MAGA has a difference of opinion on that. So go figure. We'll go back to the box. Is there somebody on Instagram that was holding? I want to make sure I didn't miss Instagram. By the way, tap the screen, get us up to 160, if you will. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Help people out with the TikTok Captain Had Mustache Goals. You know what I always say. This is free speech, zero censorship. First watch says, no, Tim, you're wrong. Well, it depends on who you ask. Thank you, Debo. Appreciate the hat mustache. Depends on who you ask. Before President Trump came on the scene, every president we've had in our lifetime still felt, Lewis, thank you. Most of the president, I think every one we've had, both Bushes, Obama, Biden, for the great, thank you. You guys are showing the program some love. They all believe that Iran should not become a nuclear member nation. But unlike Trump, they all believe that Russia was a greater enemy. Only when Trump became president did the way we view Russia suddenly change. All the former presidents in our lifetime viewed Russia as a significant threat to America. So I don't know what, other than Trump having some kind of relationship with Putin or something of that nature, I don't know why all of a sudden Trump gets in there and suddenly it's okay if Russia takes over the Ukraine. And, he just became friendly towards Russia. And I don't know what that's based on. Certainly now that we realize that he's admitting that Russia is even helping Iran. That makes no sense. Russia is a greater threat to the United States than Iran is. So if you don't help the Ukrainians, then you are helping the Russians expand. I don't get that one. But looking in the comments, and thank you. Somebody sent me a hat mustache. I do want to acknowledge Rod S. Appreciate that. And P Dub. Appreciate it. Shout out to you. Thank you very much. The world is a stage. President Trump says it all the time. Central casting. Well, he's really good at that, but I don't think that avenue should be taken into our political sphere. Stick the ruler. Good evening, Stick.
Hey, what's going on, sir?
Not much at all. So, do you agree with me that Russia's more of an enemy to this country than Iran?
Most definitely. Wasn't they giving the Iranians some intel on us?
Yeah, Trump has admitted that. Trump has admitted they're giving them intel.
So why is he acting like Putin is his homeboy and shit? Why is he acting like they be going to Dodger Stadium and eating hot dogs and shit and watching baseball?
Is it possible? Is it possible by some stretch of their imagination that maybe Putin has something on Trump? I don't know, because I don't have an answer for that question.
I agree that that's probably what it is. I agree that Putin got the dirt on his dumb ass. I agree he probably got him just as well as the Easting man got him. You know what I'm saying? Had him in his pocket because we got you compromised. He may have him compromised in both ways. Whether it be he done did some sexually shit, and this is just my opinion, TikTok for educational and entertainment.
Are you referring to what is known as the? Are you referring to what might be known as the PP tapes?
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, we got your wife too. What's wrong with him?
Ooh.
Yeah, we got your wife too. And that's why he ain't really got nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? She probably was over there slanging that cooter. You feel me? So at the end of the day, it's a trick in the White House. Whether you want to say it's true or her.
It's a trick in the White House. That almost sounds like a hip hop track. Yeah. But I will say this though. It is hard to explain why all the former presidents, living and dead, have viewed the Russian government as adversaries, and then Trump comes along and suddenly he's viewing them a lot more positively without any explanation whatsoever for why the change. He has never explained that.
Yeah, he's not going to explain it. And it's just like right now, India can buy oil from Russia. Anybody else can buy oil from Russia because he's trying to make it to where it looks like it's a smart thing to do. But really, you just helped your homeboy. Again, that's why I say every time he met with him, it wasn't about the Ukraine. It wasn't about this. It's about what's next. What do I do next? For all we know, Putin got a gang of lawyers, Russian lawyers, trying to figure out how to get Trump more power and everything about our Constitution and how you can move and how you can make people do this and do that. It seemed like to me, as long as you fucking loyal to Trump, you know what I'm saying? He got your back in the sense of, yeah, you may get fired, but I bet you won't go to jail this time. Last time, too many people went to jail. Flynn and all them other motherfuckers, they went to jail. So I think right now at this point, loyalty is going to save Pam Bondi. Loyalty is going to save the Chappelle. I mean, not Chappelle, but Cash Patel. Yeah, that's what's going on. That is exactly what's going on.
So how does this end? I mean, with Iran, you hear President Trump giving them till tomorrow evening, and all of a sudden we're threatening to bomb the hell out of the country. Is there any way this ends on a positive note?
No, there's no positive note at all. I mean, it's already horrible with the school kids, and the bad intel they had when they did that. That intel was years old. I heard at least 2 years old. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's follies. We've lost soldiers. Definitely lost a whole bunch of money, and he's asking for more. So where's the good? What are we talking about? Gas prices ain't down. Shit's fucked up. Now us as citizens, we gotta watch for maybe sleeper sales and shit like that. For TikTok educational and entertainment purposes only. This is my opinion.
Yeah, but you got like folks like Straight Talk who suggest that in a couple of weeks, gas prices actually are going to greatly improve. I think he said gas prices will be less than they were before the war started.
And I the one question you never asked, how? What is going to change in 2 weeks?
Well, the how, I believe
it's a simple question. What's going to change in 2 weeks?
The Strait of Hormuz will be open. He believes the strait will be open, and then ships will flow through, and that will bring it down.
But Tim, he said the shit 2 weeks ago.
It hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been about, and I don't even think it's been.
It's been about 2 weeks.
No, I don't think
it's been about 2 weeks.
No, it hasn't. I don't even think it's been a full week yet.
Man, it's been 2 weeks since he said that bullshit.
No, it hasn't.
I'm gonna tell you why I know it's been at least 2 weeks. Number one, they put me on a restriction from another live, and I had 3 days on that. And I'm off restriction. I'm in your live, and I've been in your live now for at least the past week. So at the end of the day, it's been 2 weeks.
It has not been 2 weeks because I'm waiting on it to be 2 weeks.
Since he said it.
No, it has not been.
Said it has been 2 weeks.
No, it's been probably about 6 or 7 days at most. It ain't been 2 weeks. It hasn't been 2 weeks.
Hell no. He gets up here every day. He says it every day. That's why it seems like that. He gives you that lame ass excuse every fucking day. He tells you that bullshit every day. And then you get up here and you get somebody that's in the middle of the road who say, well, I ain't MAGA. But then by the end of the show, you telling them he did a good job and now he needs a MAGA hat. You need to stop that shit.
Well, but that individual, I don't think that individual quite knew where he stood. So I was analyzing his politics, and based on what he was saying, I thought he was suitable for MAGA.
No, fuck that. No, he wasn't. Because he already said that he wasn't MAGA when he came up. But then when you went to doing all that, well, they just breaking the law, right? And then you getting them to just twist his fucking mind.
But was he?
Not strong at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even want him as a Democrat or as a leftist. If you can be manipulated that easy, you are MAGA. You need to go get you a fucking hat.
I was just listen. I was just asking the man some questions. questions. That's all. I was trying to see where you stood.
That was the. Hey, listen, that was Mind Comp on steroids. How you did him? You fucked him up so quick. And that's just what I'm talking about, man. They'll believe anything fucking Trump says. They'll believe anything fucking Pete Hegseth says, as long as he quotes some bullshit out of the Trump Bible. You know, they'll believe that shit.
Well,
that's MAGA.
And Ezra,
he definitely is MAGA.
Ezra in the comments said, "That's how you turn a bitch out." What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying, man. You had him out in the streets tricking and shit, man. And I told you there's tricks in the White House already. Like, he trick number 3. He's ready to roll up and be on the corner of the White House and the Rose Garden anymore. That shit look like fucking Detroit now. That shit's fucked up.
Oh my God. Okay, you guys are killing me, man. Ezra with turning out bitches. Listen, I can't even think straight to the next question I was going to ask you because that was so fucking funny. But listen, I like to let the folks come to their own conclusions. And like I said, based on what he was saying, he sounded more suitable for MAGA. He just sounded more like MAGA. So he just was. Is it possible he could have been MAGA in denial?
Nah, there ain't no fucking MAGA in denial, man. That's some bullshit. You shouldn't even, I don't know. It was a Jedi mind trick you did on him, and you made him say yeah to a couple of things because you was right. You know, if you break the law, you break the law. It is what it is, and I get that. But at the same time, when with the law, if you speed, that's breaking the law, correct?
Absolutely.
And when the officer pull you over, it's at his discretion to fucking give you the ticket, correct?
That is true.
Okay, so again, when you go before the judge, it's at the judge's discretion whether he says, "Look, I see that you ain't got no record, and yeah, you ain't supposed to be here, but since you ain't got no record, and all I see for 20, 30, however long you be here for 40 years and not have a goddamn record." Why would I tell you, okay, now I'm going to make you go home and I'm going to make you get up out of here because you just been breaking the law? No, actually, I've been contributing to the community. I ain't broke the damn law. You got people that's born here, considered citizens, and all this other shit, and all they do is motherfucking unalive people and goddamn great people. So
yeah, but you
get the fuck out of here with that shit. That judge can tell you on that civil case, because I've heard you say it before. On this civil shit, I'm looking at this man. He ain't got nothing, or this woman, she ain't got nothing. I'm finna let them try to seek a pathway. So
well,
look, I need you to go here, go there, and make sure that you make this shit happen.
Yeah, but you listen. If we have laws, what is the purpose of having them if you're not going to enforce them? Our laws require you enter this country the legal methods that are available. If you skirt the law and do not follow the law, why have them if you're not going to enforce it for folks who break it?
Well, I'm going to say you just like this. The moment that you can get MAGA to say, Donald Trump should follow the law, he shouldn't shoot at civilian or boom civilian shit that may unalive the community or the population versus the goddamn heads of state like he did before, then we can talk.
That might
but
be
until then, leave them folks that ain't fucking with nobody alone. Leave them folks that came over here, work fucking hard. Yes, they may have an F-250, but goddamn, they deserved it because they worked hard and they got that shit.
So what if I go out? Wait a minute. So what if I go out and
you a United States citizen and you hating on a goddamn person that came over here walking in flip-flops? You a bitch.
Ooh. So what if I go out and do something like, assault a woman or something like that? As long as I don't get caught after a certain period of time, as long as I'm working and I'm following the law.
That's totally different. That's not civil, Tim. You ain't gonna get me like that. That's not civil. You ain't gonna change my goddamn mind. That's not civil.
Okay, then let's say for instance. Let's say for instance I don't pay a bill. Let's say for instance I got a debt against me and I don't pay it.
That's civil again. That's not criminal.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Not criminal unless it's over a certain amount.
Okay, let's say for instance I do have a huge debt that the courts ordered me to pay. And I didn't pay it, and I've stayed under the radar, and I haven't committed any other crime. Should the debt be forgiven?
No,
it's civil.
that should not be forgiven. And then at that point, again, you said that they're in a sense don't have their paperwork. So the U.S. has a good mind to say, hey, you number one, you done broke the law a couple of times. Boom, you this is the punishment for you breaking the law. That's like criminal. That's breaking the actual law. But I'm talking about, let's say he get pulled over for no other reason than looking Spanish, and they find out that he's illegal, but he's been here 30 years.
Let him stay.
Or they find out he's undocumented, not illegal.
So what's the difference between what you're suggesting and open borders? You're making it sound like anybody that come to this country illegally, as long as they're here and they stay under the radar, they should be able to stay, right?
I didn't say stay under the radar. I said if they don't commit any crime,
right?
And it's not so much that like we want them over here like committing crimes without getting caught. That's not what I'm saying. But the only way you're gonna be in front of a judge or even be by the police is somehow, some way you did something wrong, correct?
Yeah, but I don't think you hear what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if somebody come to this country illegally and they don't commit any more crimes once they get here, they work under the table or whatever. You're saying they should all be able to stay, right? If they come, just as long as you don't commit any more crimes other than the border violation, you can stay. Is that what you're not? Is that not what you're telling me?
I'm telling you that with stipulations also. I'm telling
what
you
are the stipulations?
People that may have had a child. Listen what I'm saying, Tim. That may have had a child here. They done built a life here. They've been paying taxes, whether it's under the table or not under the table or whatever, because they paying sales tax and they're paying other types of taxes that we pay every day. The same people that stay here and say that they're citizens and commit fucking crimes. I'm saying you're looking for a certain type, right? That's what Donald Trump told us.
Lewis, thank you.
He's looking for the actual criminals, for the actual people that come.
I get what he's saying, but you're saying though, Stick, you are for open borders as long as you come here and you don't commit a crime once you're here.
No, I didn't. No, that's not what I'm saying.
What would make you deny somebody if the person has been here and they ain't done nothing wrong? You're gonna let them all stay, right?
If I'm the judge, it's at my discretion.
It's at your discretion. So as a judge, what would make you send somebody back? Anybody that came before you that had no criminal history, you wouldn't send any of them back, right?
Pretty much no, especially if they've been here.
That's open borders.
No, I'm not sending them.
That's back. Open borders.
That's not open
yeah,
border.
It is.
That's not open border. No, it's not, because they didn't get caught at the border, so it's not open border. They got in the country, so that's not open border, because we know the border is not open. We know that if you get caught, your ass is going to jail.
So as long as
it's not open border, and then one judge don't have say so of the whole goddamn border. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, in your courtroom, in your courtroom, they go in your courtroom. Exactly. In your courtroom, all of the illegal immigrants, as long as you don't have any additional criminal history, this judge is going to let you stay.
Man, listen, you've been over here this long, and the only reason you in here is because a racist cop pulled you over. I'm going to give you a chance. Fuck what you're talking about.
Okay, that's what they're calling open borders. I get the technical difference you see in it, but for the most part, it's a law that in your courtroom, you're not going to enforce.
Listen, I'm gonna do you just how MAGA needs to be done. Now check this out. Duke was up here and Duke was talking about, they didn't declare the war through Congress. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I need you to start doing when they say that dumbass shit is, well, neither did they with Biden, but y'all still was talking about we was in a war that y'all said that Biden started it, even though it was Russia that attacked Ukraine. Like y'all give us some goddamn pushback, Tim.
I gave him pushback on the fucking. I gave him pushback on the fucking definition. The definition of war don't say nothing about Congress. I mean that right there is bullshit. He tried to say the Vietnam War was not a war.
But guess what? Again, did Congress declare war under Biden?
No.
Okay, so why the fuck was they running around talking about he getting us into wars, even though it was motherfucking Putin that came over there and said, man, we just doing training exercises?
It's a good point.
Next thing you know, we like, man, nah, they finna attack your ass.
It's That's a good point. I'll entertain it next time, and that is a good point. I don't take away from that. But like I said, I was throwing another good point of my own, but I don't argue with yours. Stick, I gotta move it on. But I don't that's a good point. I don't disagree with that. But you are for open borders, sir. Thanks for coming through.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
No. I'm just not with pushing down on people who can barely survive in their own country because it's fucked up because we fucked it up. Now we can end, Tim. I'll holler at you.
All right, Stick. Thanks. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 170. Wow, that's a lot of you folks that have been showing the program some love. Thank you. In terms of tapping the screen, follow the program if you're watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. We're here most weekdays. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, give you guys sub. YouTube just recommended a poll. So we did a poll. Is Trump doing a good job? Simple question. I haven't done polls on YouTube before. I haven't figured out how to implement them. YouTube recommended this one. So far, we've had over 99. We got almost nearly, well, over 100 there. Now we got over 100 respondents. Is Trump doing a good job? Simple question, yes or no? Out of the over 100 voters now, 19% of them said yes, he is doing a good job. 81% said no. I thought I had more MAGA on YouTube than that. Wow, 81% no, huh? You should have added hell no. Lonely Therapy said I should have added hell no as an option. Is Trump doing a good job, yes or no? 81% said no, 19% said yes. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully I can figure out, because I would like to do more polls. There's a lot of more detailed questions I would like to be able to ask. And I can't figure out on my own how to bring that feature up, but YouTube recommended it. That was cool. Trump is doing a good job, says Delaney, is that Corleone? Trump is doing a good job. But whoever that is, that's the general, the military is ignorant. You cannot defeat Iran the way they're doing it. It's not going to work. Well, here's why I disagree. And I don't disagree with the Iranian. I agree that we should never have attacked Iran. But what I do disagree with is President Trump being able to blame members of his administration and lead others to believe that he is not at fault. He promised as a presidential candidate to surround himself with the best and brightest. A lot of these folks would not have their jobs if it wasn't for him. So the point I'm making is if Kristi Noem does a bad job, she only had that job because you gave it to her. That reflects on you. You don't get to say, I'm still good. She's the bad person. No, you hired her. And that's where Trump has been really successful at convincing my beloved MAGA that he is not at fault if he makes a bad hire. Well, maybe somebody gave him bad advice, or maybe he listened to the wrong person. You're the coach of the team. You call them bad plays. If the team lose as a coach, you get blamed for it. If Kristi Noem does good shit, you're going to take credit for it. So if she does bad shit, you get credit for that too. You know, and this goes all the way through his first term, blaming Dr. Fauci, for instance. You can reallocate Dr. Fauci to a different task force, put him back on the HIV task force. If you don't like his calls on the pandemic, relocate him somewhere. If you're on television while he's giving out social distancing instructions and shit like that, if he makes bad decisions, that reflects on your administration. But President Trump has been able to convince folks that he is only responsible for the good decisions his administration makes. When bad things are done, it's the fault of the person individually that did that. Like if Kennedy, worm brain Kennedy, sniffing cocaine off toilet seats Kennedy, if he comes up with something bad and he screws up the health department, MAGA's going to blame him. They're going to suggest somehow that Trump is isolated from him. He's only there because Trump put him there. So if he does something horrible, it reflects badly on the administration. Same way you would do it with Biden or Obama or any other president. He don't get to skirt the blame for that. He's hiring these people. If he hires incompetent people, then that's a bad decision by him. 30 years in country working illegally, should they get a break or have to leave? That's what I'm pointing out. Well, listen, I was going back and forth with my last caller, but the liberal in me probably would agree with him. I think, listen, there's a lot of things we do in this country as American citizens. And when you go to court, the judge will ask the prosecutor, does he have any priors? What type of citizen he is. In other words, they're judging you based on what else have you done in addition to what you're in court for. I don't understand why, when it comes to illegal immigrants, we have a rigid black and white code. Commit violation, must be punished. We don't do that to anybody else. There are lots of folks who have committed crimes and were caught years later. And because, the community testified that this has been an upstanding person, the pastor's like he always helps and volunteers in the church, they gave him a light sentence. Maybe even let him off for it. I don't know why, when it comes to illegal immigrants, that does not apply as well. Particularly folks that have served in the military and shit like that. I do agree with my last caller. I do agree with my last caller on that somewhat. The law has never been black and white. Now, if you're in the country illegally and you're committing a bunch of crimes and shit like that, then yeah, that's different. But if you've been here for 30 years and there is nothing else on your rap sheet, in most cases, any other crime you commit as a U.S. citizen, if it's been 30 years, unless you've really murdered somebody or something like that, but something as light as just entering the country illegally, crimes that are on that level, let's say I think that's a misdemeanor if I'm correct. I think that's a misdemeanor. I don't think there's any other misdemeanor on the books that you could commit and not do anything else wrong for 30 years and they would hold you accountable for that misdemeanor. I think almost in fact, the statute of limitations would probably be expired. So I don't think there's anything else you could do as a misdemeanor. Probably even after 10 years, it probably would be irrelevant. Might even be 5, depending on the misdemeanor. I mean, you get caught, let's say, for instance, you got caught stealing a bag of potato chips at Walmart and you took off and ran out, but the owner, the manager at Walmart knows who you are. He left his driver's license or something. So they put a warrant out for you and they don't catch up to you for 5 or 6 years later. When you go to court, they probably would throw that shit out. At best, give you a very, very mild fine or just simply may throw it out completely. So, yeah, I do believe that if you haven't done anything wrong for a number of years and you got kids and, you're really established and shit like that. In some of these cases, these people don't even know how to speak the language of where they're deporting them to. I've been here since I was 4 and they're sending me to I don't even speak the language there. Yeah, I think that you could show a little bit of compassion. I just don't think that the law is that black and white on any other violation at all. Trump talked about going after rapists and murderers. That's different. I'm 100% behind that. But grandma that's been babysitting for the last 20 years, different story. Tim, in fact, we're all immigrants, so be careful. True, but it's a difference to it. Have you ever viewed the Grand Canyon? I've been to the Grand Canyon. Have you ever viewed the Grand Canyon, or you callers, impossible to build a secure border wall? Stop the fake narrative of building a secure border wall. Well, it's not going to just be a physical wall. It would have to be a lot of technologies at play. I'll tell you, as an over-the-road driver, and tap the screen, get us up to 175,000, if you will. As a former over-the-road driver, I used to be an over-the-road driver, expediter, and I've been down to the border towns many times: Laredo, El Paso, McAllen. I've been to all of those border towns, particularly in Texas, because we take a lot of freight down there, and then it goes on into Mexico. Or you pick up loads coming in from Mexico, and you drive them up to Chicago or Detroit somewhere. You see this shit all the time. You see it all the time, and I see a lot of folks that, a lot of them are just trying to make a better path for themselves. If they're not here raping and murdering people, I would, like I said, I do have somewhat of a difference of opinion for them. That's just, like I said, that's just my opinion. Justice without mercy is not justice. Yeah, I mean, justice without enforcement, could be, somebody could say the same thing. But I do believe the judges in those cases should do what a judge's job is. Judge. I don't favor any system where you give the judges mandatory orders, like like in the drug trade. They used to have what they call mandatory minimums. So you have some 17, 18-year-old that has got caught with his first amount of schmack or crack or some drug on him. No criminal history or anything. And even the judge is up there like, man, I hate to have to give you this sentence. But they don't, the Senate has passed this mandatory minimum law and I don't have a choice. So the judge is looking at the kid and like, I can tell from the testimony, this is actually a decent kid that made a bad mistake. It's not benefiting anybody, including society, to send this kid away for the years that's in this mandatory minimum. But unfortunately, the law has taken away my ability to actually judge the defendant before me. So yeah, I absolutely think that should apply to immigrants. So the judge should have the ability to judge the person in front of them. But what has happened is the Trump administration has started calling judges that don't rule in the manner he thinks they should. Well, you're just an activist judge. You're just a liberal judge or something like that. So they're passing laws so that the judge doesn't get the ability to actually judge anymore. The judge just has to do what the Trump administration wants them to do, or like doing the drug trade. You want everybody carrying drugs to get 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You don't want the judge to be able to look at the person and say, this person might be redeemable. Maybe a 5, 10, 20-year prison sentence is not in the best interest of this person or the community. This person might be redeemable with probation or something like that, but they don't have the power to do it. There's now a mandatory minimum, and that's what they're trying to do with immigrants. A judge's job is to balance the law with mercy and human decency. Yeah. But when you give them mandatory minimums and shit like that, you remove all of their power to do that. Plenty of wealthy families in Trump still have undocumented immigrants working for them. They love cheap labor. You think right now in this environment, Trump still has illegal immigrants? I'm not saying he hasn't had it in the past, but you think in this environment he has illegal immigrants working for him now? That might be a tough sell. I don't think he's doing that now. I believe it's quite possible he's done it in the past, but I would be very shocked to think he's doing that now. I can't imagine him doing that now. Lewis, good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Damn.
You think Trump will be dealing with illegal immigrants right now?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think I think that most MAGA kind of consider anybody who came across the border as an illegal immigrant. So they think they've already committed a crime. That's why they call them illegals, and they think they all should be deported. But if you look at our Constitution, if you step 1 foot on this side of the border, you actually have 365 days from the day you 364 days from the day you land in this country to actually claim asylum.
But until you claim asylum, you are here illegally, right?
You're here illegally, yes, and that is a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
So once they catch them and they say I'm claiming asylum, which most of them don't do, Tim. When they come across, they claim asylum time they come across. When they come in through a port of entry, or they turn themselves in when they come across the when they run into a border patrol. Because most of the time those people come across the Rio Grande, they get picked up immediately by border patrol, and that's when they claim asylum. Right. So they already have done it, and that's why. So they actually are not undocumented. They do run what they call a missile, just like they do with any criminal in the United States.
What is it called?
They do a quick, it's called a missile. It's where you do a quick background check, like by running to see if they have any warrants or anything like that in the United States.
Yeah, but if you catch somebody at the border that's coming in the country and you run a background check to see if they have any crimes here, that person could be a murderer in El Salvador who's never done anything here because they've never been here, though. It could be a really bad person.
Well, and that's the case where that's why you have to go through the process of actually through the asylum process, or even if they want to try to claim citizenship down the road, that's when you eliminate them. But you can't presume the worst. You have to give the benefit of doubt. Now, what they have now, Tim, people act like we're still living in the Stone Ages. They have face recognition that also checks in the country of origin where they came from. So
well, that depends, though. I mean, if a person came from, let's say, a dictatorship or a really oppressive country, you ain't gonna be able to get no kind of background check on them at all. Like, we brought people in this country, we brought people here that helped us out in Afghanistan. The chance of being able to run a background check on them to make sure they hadn't got in trouble in Afghanistan is probably zero. Like Iran, if somebody fled Iran and came here, you're not going to be able to get any type of criminal history on them at all from Iran.
I agree with you 100%, but I don't think it's relevant anyway, Tim. Tim, this is the reason I came up here for this. No, I don't think that Trump. I think that Donald Trump lied to these people because he said he was going to get rid of the worst of the worst, and that's really what we should be going after. That's what ICE should be going after, and they should have. You know why those guys are wearing masks, Tim?
They're wearing masks because they don't want accountability.
No, it's because those are the same people that did January 6th.
Well, that would still be accountability of some sort. I mean, you're holding them accountable for the fact that they have no business being in law enforcement.
They just know with the face recognition that people are going to be able to identify them.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to. But let me get back to this. I want to go to this because I'm going to tell you something, Deuce. I'm a 21-year military veteran. I was stationed at Fort Bragg.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate
it.
Now, they renamed Fort Bragg back, didn't they?
Well, they did, but they tried to say they named it after a different person other than the general Fort Bragg. You know what I'm saying? They said it was from some guy that would live there.
What had they changed it? What, Fort Liberty? So what did they change the name of Bragg to?
It was originally Liberty. It went from Bragg to Liberty back to Bragg.
Yeah. But they picked it.
But it's no longer named after the.
Yeah, the law the Democrats put in place wasn't thorough enough. It said you cannot name the base back after that Confederate individual that it was named after. So they went and just found any random guy that served in the military named Bragg and just named it. So it's named after some private or something crazy, but it's still called Fort Bragg because of that.
And that's cool with everybody, because I'm telling you something, Tim, I was stationed there a total of 12 years, and I never knew that it was named after a Confederate general. They don't tell you that.
Yeah, the history in the United States is like that. I mean, you know, we grew up watching the Dukes and Hazzard. When we went to school, you know, as a Gen Xer, we weren't even really told the Confederates were the bad guys. I mean, the history was so limited that you just didn't know.
Yeah, and they told us the same thing. When I was at Fort Bragg, I did know it was named after a general, but they didn't say it was a Confederate general.
Right.
I thought it was just a regular general. You know what I'm saying? And not that it wouldn't have mattered too much to me, because I know that state is full of racists anyway. Let's just be for real. It's North Carolina. You know what I mean?
Right. Here's what I don't get, though. I mean, the guy. Here's what I don't get. The guy operated under the Confederate flag. He did not operate under Old Glory. He didn't operate under the Stars and Stripes. So, I mean, I'm sure they got statues and shit. I bet that flag, they're not showing him waving the flag he really was fighting under that base. I don't get how you could have a base.
I'm telling you something. I've been all over. I was all over Fort Bragg for 12 years and seen his name everywhere. Even with him riding on his horse with his regiments and the whole 9 yards, but they never showed that flag.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A dead giveaway, and they know it.
Yeah, that's crazy that, you know, this guy.
They didn't even show him, like, they didn't even show you anything that showed the color of his uniform. Yeah. It always was in, like, bronze, or it was always in black and white photos, so it looked like it was just a uniform. Yeah. It didn't look like a Confederate uniform, just like a uniform. You know what I'm saying?
Just a slight way to neutralize history by not being accurate with you, because it makes no sense that a guy who actively fought as an enemy of the United States gets a base that is controlled by the United States. I mean, he's about as much of an enemy. I don't care if he's an American. He's about as much American as Timothy McVeigh was. I mean, he's an enemy of the country. How the hell did you get a base named after him? That makes no sense to me.
I'm gonna say this, and I know I've said this to you before, that number one, I don't talk to blacker. I don't talk to any black Confederates or MAGA people. I'll talk to black conservatives, but I don't talk to black MAGA.
Why not?
People like Duke, because number one, I think I won't give any white racists the privilege of seeing two black men argue with each other. I refuse to do that, to argue with a black man in a white audience. I don't think two.
But wait, what makes you think? What makes you think racists are watching you argue?
Because they in your site, because because you let them in your live.
You think I got racists watching me? Who? These are all the white MAGA in here. They're all patriots out here. Are you suggesting that white MAGA are racist?
Absolutely. 100%.
All of them.
And Tim, I'm like you on this right here. I think black people can be racist.
Same.
I don't think there's no system that support black racists.
Wait. You saying you believe blacks cannot be racist?
I believe they can be.
Okay, so do I. I believe they can be too. Yeah.
As individuals, but not. There's no system that back them.
I think they got systemic powers just at lower levels. I mean, there are companies that are owned by blacks. If they don't hire whites,
they have it at their own level, but there's no system in our government, that backs black racists. Let's just be for real. There's no system that back them. Where there is systems that back white racism, and that's the only difference. That's why you're right. There's no systemic racism for black people, but there is. A black person can be racist.
Right.
Let's just be for real.
Okay, I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
I mean, Oprah Winfrey owes a billion. She has $1 billion. She has all kinds of businesses, and she can discriminate if she wanted to based on a person's race. So let's just be for real about that. Yeah. I mean, this is your radio show. I mean, this is your live, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't want to let no white people in here, could you?
Yeah. We'd never do that, but yeah, that would be a form of it.
I know you won't do it. You probably block black people before you'll block white
people.
people.
Come on. That's below the belt, damn it. That's below the belt.
Now, I just want to, and I want to say this to you, Tim. Anytime another veteran, if any veteran ever comes back up in your sight and say that they are ready to go to war, then you know that they are lying to you. And they never been there, because I've been in a lot of hot spots, man. I spent 18 months over in that big sandbox, and I'm telling you right now, I don't want any of our soldiers back over there, and I don't think any of them should be over there. There is no benefit for the United States other than to try to defend Israel. Now we have to do that, because everybody say we leave NATO. If we leave NATO, that means all of our troops come out of Europe. That means all of our troops come out of Japan. That means all of our troops come out of every country that we have our troops at. Which makes you think they're gonna let us leave our troops there if we're not supporting them anymore?
Right. Yeah, I don't understand why MAGA is so supportive of Trump saying that we don't need NATO. I don't ever see taking a team.
That's because they don't know.
That should be obvious, though. I mean, I don't care if you've been in prison. I don't care if you've been in prison. There's strength in numbers. I don't think why do people believe that America's stronger alone than they are with a bunch of group of allies?
I guarantee you that the minute we leave NATO, if the United States leave NATO, that China or Russia will attack us. There's no question about it.
They would attack us, not NATO.
Knowing that we don't have any reach to them, they will definitely attack us. No question about it.
That's crazy you would say that, because a lot, like MAGA and a lot of folks believe that if we leave NATO, it is NATO that would get attacked, not us.
No, NATO becomes stronger if the United States leave. I really believe that, because I think they will make up that 16% that we pay.
Yeah. I said the same. I don't know if they'll become. I don't want to say they'll become.
That's the funny thing about it, Tim. What people don't understand is that Russia is still a part of NATO.
What?
Up, brother?
When has Russia ever been part of NATO? What are you talking about?
Russia is a part of No, they're part of the UN. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what are you talking about? They were the Warsaw Pact. No, but I'll say this. I think that if America leaves NATO, I think NATO would become stronger as an entity than they are now. But as a whole, I think both America and NATO would be weaker. I do believe in stronger together. You know what they say: united we stand, divided we fall. I think that when you start breaking shit up, it gets weaker. Now NATO missing the United States individually, those countries will start developing their military and become individually stronger. But I do believe America and NATO as a group is a stronger group than whatever NATO would be by itself and whatever America would be by itself. I think all entities would get weaker. And when it comes to America, I think we would hurt financially as well because the US dollar would not be the standard and all of that stuff would be hurting.
I think that's the biggest fear for America. I think that they don't understand this, that China and the UN, the UK is definitely trying to change the petrodollar. They're trying to change the petrodollar. They're trying to get back on the gold standard, or at least get one of the other countries to be the backer for gas and oil and all that good stuff anyway. And that's if that happens, the United States becomes like a lame duck, just like Trump.
Well, so in other words, there is no way, even if we get let's say we get a liberal or we get a conservative in there that apologizes for Trump, there's probably no way to avoid some long-term damage being done from the Trump years.
It's going to take probably, and I'm not just going to say a liberal, a Democratic president in for 2 terms. It's going to take at least one for 2 terms, but it's going to take probably 4 or 5 terms before we even get back on track as a country and start working together again. Because he's done so much to widen the divide between the left and the right that it's going to be everybody. When Trump first left office after he lost to Biden, everybody assumed that would be the end of MAGA, and I think it could have been. But once he got back in, MAGA is here to stay. The Republican Party are the ones that's going to go away.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I do believe the MAGA hat will be a symbol and be a movement, a symbol we can recognize long after Trump is gone. I think this hat will be a statement, kind of like the Confederate flag. Obviously, the Civil War is long over.
Exactly.
Yeah. They'll probably be in the same circles. You'll probably see this and the Confederate flag in the same circles for the rest of our lives.
I've always said that I thought MAGA was the new Confederacy. That's what I believe. And let me say this though, Tim, everybody that's in my army was not a soldier. And that dude that came up, he might have been in the army, but he was not a soldier because he's willing to put his fellow comrades in harm's way like it ain't nothing.
Yeah,
trust me on that.
Yeah, he said he called in an airstrike and bombed the city, and it was civilian. And by the way, real quick go ahead.
And this is the funny thing about it. If any guy says that he would do that, it tells you right now that he was not a soldier, because no soldier would do that. And no engineer would ever call in an airstrike. That's not their function. So when Duke even says stupid stuff like that he called in airstrikes, I'm like, what engineer calls in airstrikes?
Yeah. Like I said, I can't say because I'm not military.
He knows you don't know. Yeah. He knows you don't know. But the next time he's up there, I hate to embarrass him, and I don't want to really talk to him, but I'm sending you a galaxy the next time he comes in your sight.
Yeah, I'm pleading ignorance. I don't know enough to push back on that.
This guy was a buck sergeant. I was a buck sergeant when I was 19 years old. He was nothing, Tim. A buck sergeant is nothing. He probably didn't even go to BNOC. He probably went to PLDC, Primary Leadership Development Course, but he ain't probably even been to BNOC. So I don't know what he knows about war and combat. All he did was take orders, trust me. There's no way he called in an airstrike.
Duke is an interesting character. I'll just say that. He's an interesting character.
Yeah, I think he suffers from PTSD if he wasn't over in the big sandbox. And that's questionable to me. Because I think guys who talk about it are never about it.
Well, Duke, but he was over there, I think, for Desert Shield, Desert Storm, the one in the 90s. So, I mean, he goes back a little further. I think he's like
I was
60.
I was there too. And that's why I say next time I'm come up, I'm going to question him because I was all over that sandbox for 18 months. And I want to know what province he was in. I want him to tell me what unit he was in from the 82nd Airborne Division. I had left the 82nd Airborne Division by the time I left that, but I was right down the road in the 3rd. And he'll know what I mean when I say I was in the 3rd. So my thing is that I'll know if he knows the facts, because I bet you I could probably tell him who his commander is of the engineers of the 82nd Airborne Division. I know his commander.
All right. Well, hopefully you two meet up because I would love to hear that conversation. I got to move it on, Lewis, but yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm looking forward to making that happen, like hopefully in the near future.
I don't argue with black men, especially not on your site with all these.
We don't have any racists here. We got loving, patriot liberals here all together.
Tim, I would tell you something. If Gangster Grandma ever stopped coming on your sites to put your ass in line, I probably, I love you too, man, because I've been with you for a long time. I've been with you for a few years. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate the support.
I remember you was trying to sell electric bikes and shit.
Oh, wow. You have been around for a while. Yeah, you really go back.
There you go. So I mean, I've been listening to you for long. You're my ace coon boom, man. I really do appreciate you. But the biggest kick for me, man, if you fuck around and make Gangster Grandma stop coming on here, I'm gonna be so pissed off with you, man. I'm a #1 fan, man. I'm her #1 fan. Sometimes when she sent those galaxies, just to come up and get on Straight Talk's case, I send her a galaxy just to give it back to her because I want her to have more.
Oh my Lord. It's time to end this conversation. Lewis, thanks for coming through. Oh my God. All right, by the way, tap the screen. Lewis, I might have cut you out, Lewis, and I see in the comments, Sagy Girl, something says, I love Gangster Grandma. Yeah, you guys are crazy. Tap the screen, get us up to 190. I did that poll. MAGA has gained some ground. Simple question, is Trump doing a good job? 30% now says yes. Now we're nearly 300 votes in. So I do have plenty of good MAGA on YouTube. MAGA has showed out. So yes, I got 294 participants so far. 70% says no, Trump is not doing a good job. 30% says yes. Even 70-30 split. His approval is about 30%. So it's pretty great. Yeah, no kidding. That's pretty accurate, huh? Wow. Yeah, his approval rate, about 30% of the voting public are MAGA. And I don't think there's anything that could be done whatsoever by our commander-in-chief to hurt his approval rating with MAGA. Now it's 31%, so 31-69. But yeah, I think that I always say this, I've said this before, there are two types of MAGA. One are the voters that voted for Trump's campaign promises. I wanted a secure border, or I wanted biological males out of sports, or I wanted the economy better. I wanted to bring down Biden's gas prices and grocery prices. I wanted to create more jobs and reduce inflation. That's one type of MAGA that voted for Trump because of the policies he was promising. The other type of MAGA are folks that voted for the man. They didn't vote for the policies. They voted for they may have liked the policies, but when I say they voted for the man, that means he could change what he's doing 180 degrees and they'll just go with him because they voted for the man. All we voted for is for Trump to lead this nation. As long as he's leading the nation, I'm happy. I don't really care what he's doing. I just want him to be in charge. Those are the folks that you're not going to get any sway in Trump's poll numbers. When they say 100% of MAGA are for Trump, it's those folks because they voted for the man, and the man is still in charge. So it doesn't matter what he's doing. Like no new wars, and then we're in Iran, whatever. They'll just have a reason for why what he's doing now is a good thing, even though he was campaigning on doing just the opposite. They voted for the man. No MAGA votes for policy. The love, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene voted for policy. I believe Liz Cheney in his first term, the folks plenty of people voted for Trump because of policy. The ones you're hearing that say I voted for Trump 3 times and I'm a farmer and now I'm unhappy, that was a person that voted for Trump for policy. There are plenty of MAGA that lean right. They're true blue conservatives, Republicans, and they liked what Trump was offering. And now they're not necessarily happy because he didn't deliver on that. They voted for policy. I mean, some MAGA will come out and tell you, I'm not really a big fan of the man. I just like his policies. But those folks are the ones that are not really happy right now. But the folks who voted for Trump are very happy. King Fig, you said what policies? The ones I just named. Securing the border, getting the economy back on track after Biden, bringing down gas prices. This is the stuff he offered. Ending the Ukraine war. These are the policies he's promised. What I'm saying is people that voted for Trump for his policies, they're not happy right now. People who voted for Trump because of the man, they are extremely happy because they voted to have him as president. Doesn't matter what he does as president. We want him. We believe he has got the right idea no matter what that idea is. I'll just trust him like I had somebody tell me at a Trump rally. Doesn't matter what happens. If you bet on Trump, 99% of the time, you'll come out on top. Had somebody tell me that to my face, in addition to somebody else telling me he was appointed by God. So them folks are very happy because they just simply believe no matter what's going on in America, eventually it will turn out right. Eventually the Strait of Hormuz, like what Straight Talk said, gas prices are going to go down back in the $1 range. Just like true faith. Let's go with the deity, since a lot of folks do believe Trump was sent here by God. You ever heard of the phrase, he don't come when you want him, but he always comes on time? Or some of those phrases where you just got to have faith, God works in mysterious ways. That type of stuff. That no matter what you're looking at, what you're dealing with, the end result will be good. That MAGA that voted for the man has that mindset. No matter what you're looking at, no matter what's going on right now, he is playing checkers, not chess. You just don't understand what's going on right now. He's playing chess. He knows the next move, and eventually it will turn out right. There's a lot of folks that believe that. That's why you're not going to point out grocery prices or gas prices and sway them, because they do believe the end result will be positive. They're willing to deal with the short-term pain for long-term gain because they believe eventually things, just like I said, when it comes to, I'm comparing them to the deity, because if you get sick, you lose your job, you lose your house or something, you believe God has a plan in store and it will get better. That's the same mindset that MAGA, who voted for Trump as the man, has with Trump. No matter what's going on, the end result, it will get better. It's like having faith in a man, having faith in the president. So there you go. Tim, MAGA heads are more than willing to see anybody else get hurt other than them, and they don't care how it happens, and they don't think it's going to turn around on them. There is absolutely a lot of that. Certainly the Hispanics from MAGA didn't think they were going to be caught up in it. Some of the farmers didn't think the tariffs were going to come on them. Yeah, there is a lot of that. There's absolutely a lot of folks who were okay with, and that's kind of what has happened, is a lot of that has happened where a lot of disgruntled folks are okay with watching the misery bestowed upon other people. They just never thought they would be a part of it. Well, if you're okay with it happening to somebody else, maybe you deserve your turn. The homosexuals and lesbians hate Trump, America, and God. Well, I think it would be safe to say that all of those groups hate them too, right? I mean, you said the homosexuals and lesbians hate Trump, America, and God. Well, if you listen to the right, God is not a big fan of homosexuality, and Trump absolutely is not a fan. So they hate them, and they hate them, and they're getting hated as well. Iran has murdered 40,000 of their own people. Where is your outrage? It's in the same place as yours, sir. I don't think you give a damn about Iran murdering its own citizens. The Saudis, we're friends with the Saudis. They murder their citizens too. You're not allowed to protest in Saudi Arabia. You're not even allowed to be gay in Saudi Arabia. Where's your outrage, sir? Your outrage derived from Trump telling you this is the nation you should temporarily care about. That's all. If Trump turns his back on Iran and says let them, you would turn your back with him. So now I don't believe that Trump or MAGA has any concern over Iranian citizens. You wouldn't even let them stay here if they got here and tried to seek asylum. So it ain't nothing, it has nothing to do with being concerned about what they're being, protesters are being killed or something like that. You don't care about those people. No one knows how much damage the Democrats did, and they're confused on why Trump is doing so much moving. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm 62 and would volunteer to go back in the military. Wow. Appreciate your service from when you were. We can really hear those words in all caps. Tim is telling on himself. What am I saying? What am I saying on myself? Anyhow, folks, I appreciate the 186,000. You guys know about what time it is. I got to step away. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys tomorrow. And I got to end it over here too because I got to step